love me some Kyle Barnett, but I can't let him work with me.
Uh-oh. We live now.
Yeah, I love me some Kyle Barnett.
Yeah, I do too, man. Yeah, I ain't got no doubt about that, man. Dude's awesome.
I've never met him. I've seen him, but I've never met him.
Yeah, good fella.
Yeah.
Ben's protege.
Oh, okay.
He is my protege.
Oh, I know he is, yeah.
Nah, I'm his protege today.
All right. So I'm gonna stand right here because you can hear me great because the microphone don't actually work. So there's no
Still
microphone.
not working now?
Facebook.
We're standing up here at the phone, and
Microphone got zucked.
it'll work just fine. So, god dang, we got a swamp thing. Who's that loser?
Sasquatch?
He was in here last night trying
Yeah, I
to
saw that.
put his little intake. He said chicken fingers. He was here last night trying to put his little.
That's different.
Dang. Golly.
Might as well go
Are
ahead
they,
and leave
are
it
they
on
piling
live.
on?
Yeah.
Well, they're here
I
to
mean,
see
you might
me.
as well
There's a
go
lot
ahead
of
and leave
people.
it on.
So,
They're here to see me, man.
so we're gonna try two different ways. What's up, Mr. Young?
Chicken finger.
Is that one running?
Not yet.
So,
Excuse me.
say something, Grant. See if I can hear you.
Can y'all hear me right here? This is somewhat of a indoor-outdoor voice.
Ask Mr. Bauer.
Speaking of, Mark, can you hear me? Clint's your daddy. Could you hear that?
It's delayed by a little bit. Well, I'm standing right by the phone,
Yeah.
so you can't. Really, if it's reversed, I think it does better because the microphone is on this end, right?
I'll flip it around and then, okay, and that may work. You may have to talk loud.
I'm sure you can do
Got to
that.
be real careful about this.
Well, point it in that direction
There we go. Hang tight.
and rotate it toward me.
There we go.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? I can't just flip the camera. That's better.
What are you thinking?
A little wider.
Swamp Thing says he can hear you too.
All right. Okay.
So we'll do
Alright.
both.
Well,
Just make sure, shout out if you can.
We'll do both. Before, let me
we can get a little friendlier if we have to.
let me turn off my
I don't want to get too friendly.
20.
Yeah, they're right there.
Yeah, I heard that just fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the problem is I didn't turn off my notifications first.
Oh.
Well, my,
And,
it wouldn't let me do it with it flipped. Oh, I gotta flip the camera back here.
yeah, but put it in the piece box.
Yeah. So, Mr. Morris,
Here you find.
hang on. I'm gonna try and
Is that accidental putting my car together, Mr. Morris?
I'm gonna try and
Yeah.
turn off my notifications.
Jameson Holton in Florida watching.
Oh, yeah.
Very nice.
Florida's in the house.
Florida.
That's one of my Mustang buddies.
And Jeff said, no overalls?
I have them in the car. I can't change back.
The ones that I had on?
Oh, yeah.
Man, I was actually thinking, I was hoping you left at the building.
Yeah.
You're like going by the building, show up late, walk in like,
I've got
all
them in
right,
the car.
I'm here, key
I
on.
wear them every day.
Notifications be fine. That ain't gonna let me turn it off. So we'll work through that. We got Carolina Tent. Look, a little banner back there.
Good.
We can hear it.
You can see that. They're doing a little race car for me, but we can't show you. Sorry. I'm gonna flip this here. Maybe we ain't gotta flip it around. They said they could hear fine. We'll be all right.
Hey, maybe without.
Amanda Hamilton says hello. Dang, I should have
That's the Tennessee, a long time Tennessee.
should have charged my
I'll back it up just a hair.
just a little bit.
Try and get
The microphone not being on is
just
You
a
may need to turn
touch.
it around.
Yeah, I would say
Back it up.
get a little wider. You only got like half a Charles in there.
It's got the whole thing.
Oh,
Now it does.
right here.
That's delayed. Darren. Hello, Mr. Darren. God, 19 people. Look at there. Jerry Michael. Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
I almost went and did a burnout in your driveway yesterday on my way to Valentine Machine Shop.
Ryan said volume is perfect, but back up like 2 feet.
Ryan did?
Mm-hmm.
And they need to turn it around and get a microphone in.
Oh, yeah. Woo. Woo.
Yeah. So we got a problem with the
Zuckerberg.
microphone still. It works fine until you turn on Facebook Live, and then there's no microphone at all. Like, it just cuts it out completely. So it might as well just not even, if you get this off the table, it won't work. But, so what we're going to do is we're going to try and just do it with no microphone, which apparently is fine so far. And at the same time, simultaneously, Mr. Ben Howard is here. He's going to,
So, ladies and gentlemen.
he's going to do an actual recording without Amazon microphones and stuff. Maybe it'll work. Maybe it's not. We'll see. We got Carolina tinting here doing that car. Oops.
They also tinted the Caprice too.
There's a reflection in the car. My bad. Don't be looking at the
And
reflection.
fix my truck. Fix the tint on my truck.
So, there's that. We got
They'll be doing an M3 here eventually too.
Yep.
I didn't do my car, but it looks real good out there.
Nick, what you talking about is finally done. Brandy Anders said, put some safety glasses on.
I've got them in the car too. I keep about 10 pair in the car at all times.
You never without.
Never
So we
without.
got some lemon pepper wings, some pizza, the Yale from the Upstate 5th Gen or Camaros. What's the name of that group?
South Carolina 5th Gen Camaro Club, I believe.
South Carolina 5th Gen Camaros.
Yes.
Delivered some Crown today. Look at it, all nice and frosty.
She come all the way down from New Jersey, and she is awesome to have here in the Upstate, man.
Yeah,
They do a lot of stuff in that club.
Yeah.
Ryan,
Very good club.
Okay.
come on, eat some dinner, Ryan. You good on my dinner?
Yeah.
I might have to jump up if.
Make sure everybody can hear.
Yeah. Man, I'll be right back. Let me grab one thing.
Okay.
Just verify that.
Carolina Tint has tinted several cars of mine.
Yeah, let them know upcoming event for a weekend too.
What is going on this weekend? This weekend's what I gotta go to a funeral this weekend, so I don't really know what's going on.
I work every weekend, so
Yeah.
we'll be done in about a dozen cars this weekend. This Saturday.
This weekend's what, 26th? Yeah. I'm not sure what's going on all this weekend, actually. Let's just see. Oh, I think Carolina Oakham's got a race coming up this weekend.
Okay.
Maybe. The Blood Wars. I know I didn't see it posted yet. But also you got Cars and Coffee coming up this Saturday finally.
I think the first time in a year.
Yeah. Back to Michelin, actually.
Yeah, Ben should know that.
I actually just heard that last night.
Okay.
Mhm.
Pretty excited about it.
I plan on taking my junk in the morning.
Got Corey's race coming up.
Trying to look. I've been focused on this funeral coming up this weekend.
What's up, Mr. Max? I got your call earlier.
Okay.
We were setting up for this. I'm sorry.
Alright, here we go. Off trailer no prep.
Oh.
This weekend at English Mountain. Then next weekend you got the Big Dog Shootout at Piedmont Driveway. Bunch of bad pro mods show out at that. Then July 3rd you got Conquer Creek. Small tire race at Elk Creek. So we got that coming up. Then of course, July 17th, you got 864 Outlaws at Rear Dragway. And I've seen a lot of comments, a lot of the Shady Side guys are going to come down.
Yes, sir.
The Shady Side Outlaws.
Yes, sir.
That'd be a good one. Gonna have good crowd of cars.
You say streetcar takeovers?
Oh yeah, Streetcar Takeovers this coming weekend. Yep, that's always a good one. And
That's in Charlotte.
yep, the Twin Peaks meet is Thursday night, then Friday, Saturday's racing. I know the ones they do roll racing, like usually on Friday, but Saturday's big. They're gonna stop.
So let's talk about the A64 Outlaws. Who normally puts that on?
This is
Let's give it a shout out.
yeah, Eddie West, Darren Edwards, you guys, Greg Rowland. Yeah, those three I think really started it, and then it's going pretty well so far. The first race was awesome. Had a blast.
And for anybody who hasn't tried to organize a race, put on a race, and been involved behind the scenes, they have no idea how much work it is and how hard it is.
Yeah.
So anytime somebody puts on a race, especially local, you need to support it.
Oh yeah.
That is a massive amount of work.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like
that
holding
at all.
cats.
It's terrible.
Trying
I've
to
been
get
there,
everybody,
it's terrible.
trying to get everybody in on the
Mm-hmm.
classes and stuff like that.
Let's see. Trying to reload here.
Ryan Morris said, need the microphone.
Speak up a little, he said.
Let me flip it again.
Yeah,
Okay.
I like it.
Yeah.
Let me flip it one more time and we'll be good
One
to
T.
go. I turned the AC off as well because I know that's somewhat loud in the background. I gotta be careful about flipping the thing. And Ben's got some cameras rolling. I'm assuming his footage will be nice tomorrow.
I'm sure.
Hang tight. Bleep.
We call that bin quality.
Oh, and Jimmy Shannon also
Yeah,
helps put on 864 Outlaws.
it's awesome.
Yeah, so Jimmy's sponsoring
Yep.
the next one. I believe I'm gonna sponsor it again on the next one. So yeah, it'd be.
Nice. And I
It's
know
gonna be fast.
there's
Adam
a
Green's coming.
yeah, and there's a $500 bounty on any of the Shady Side Outlaw guys that could come and beat the 864. So that'd be cool.
That's kind of nice right
Yeah,
there.
I know I saw a post about it. I believe that's what it. Once I deciphered it, that's what it said.
And what day is that?
That is July 17th, Saturday after,
Saturday.
and they're gonna run after the bracket racing.
Awesome.
Yep.
Greer International.
Yep. Greer International, G-Max Dragway. Yeah.
G-Max.
Yeah, G-Max. That's what we called it when they laid down the new concrete. Once they redid it like 12 years ago.
Ryan, I turned the phone around because the microphone's actually on the inside of the phone, like towards someone's face. So I think it helps some. So we'll get started. So Mr. Blankenship, Mr. Nelson.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about how it started with factory stock racing, and it was motorcycles, and it was Fords, if I remember correctly, not LS stuff. Is how we started, right?
Well, you got to remember, I'm really, really old. And I mean, not just a little old, I'm a lot of old. So, when I went to the dealership to look at new cars as a kid, we didn't even have Fox-bodied Mustangs. That's how long ago it was. So, keep that in mind. I started out and really got involved with the internal combustion engine at a marina when I was about 18, 19 years old. And it was nothing but big block Chevys and Holley carburetors. That was the motor of choice. That's all we done. Big block Chevrolet and a Holley carburetor. And it's still my favorite motor today, still.
Okay.
And I've done that for years and years. And working in that environment, what I learned was a lot of times it ain't about horsepower, it's about so many other different things. And a good example, the marina bought a boat out of Wisconsin. It was a 19-foot pickle fork, a tunnel haul boat, and they guaranteed it'd run 100 mile an hour. Guaranteed it'd run 100 mile an hour. No problem. We get it. What's the first thing we do? We stick it in the river, put it on the radar gun. Runs 92 mile an hour.
So you're
And
missing
you know,
out.
that's a big, that's
On
a
a boat, that's a big
That's
difference.
a huge gap. So we call up Eliminator, the people that made the boat. They send down a guy named Ron Baker, world famous powerboat racer, raced outboard powerboats forever. He spent about 2 weeks on the boat, okay? When he got done, it ran like 99 mile an hour.
Still not 100.
Still not 100, but still pretty fast for back in the 80s. All right? He spent most of the time working on the hull, truing the bottom of the hull up, working on the lower unit, working on props, looking at the trailing edge of the prop, the leading edge of the prop. So he's there for a week and a half. Guess what he didn't touch?
Motor.
Didn't touch the motor. And you would think if it doesn't run the number, that's the most important thing, isn't it? Turns out motor got very little to do with it. Getting the hull true, getting it efficient made more of a difference than anything.
Right.
Once I started drag racing, and especially when I first got involved in heads up class drag racing, we had a big old thick rule book and a bunch of rules that you literally couldn't do anything to the motor. So most of us were making 250 to 290 horsepower at the tire. So you start looking for anything. So we would show up at a race, and you know, a tenth would cover the top half of the field. So, you know, you're measuring success in hundreds. We would do whatever it took.
Yeah.
So that made it a little bit easier because when you understand that it had hardly anything to do with the motor. Right. And you've heard me say, and you've probably heard me say, and I'll say it all the time, take care of the 60 foot, everything else will take care of itself.
Right.
You know, you're not going to mile per hour your way to an ET. It's just not going to happen. You've got to take care of the 60 foot. That's literally all that matters. You take care of that 60 foot, everything else will take care of itself. Because you're literally just on there for the ride. You know, now some of the turbo cars can lay to it, but you got to add a lot of mile per hour on the back end to see a difference in your ET.
Okay.
Some of them cars go big mile an hour on the back end now.
Yeah.
What do you think they run at Greer at Eddie's race? Someone go 160s at Greer?
160, possibly.
150s?
Yeah, just depends on
Definitely 50s. It ain't gonna be
how
Eddie's
good it's
car
looking.
because it ain't even running.
And like I said, I started out with Mustangs for years and years. That's all I ran with Mustangs.
Y'all did the what is it? What's it called?
NMRA.
NMRA and Fun Ford, those were the two big all Ford events. And the good thing about those events, you actually could run heads up somewhat on a budget. You could spend $10 or $15 or $20,000 on a car back in the day and actually be competitive.
But you can't touch the motor in those. It's supposed to be stock.
Basically, it was a Ford Explorer motor.
351s. Or...
No, it had 306 was the largest we could have. Unported heads, flat top pistons, 500-inch lift cam, hydraulic motor, shorty headers.
How fast were they running back then?
You know, they ran 7.0s, 11.10, 11.15s. You know, so not too bad for 300. It was when I dynoed my car at MV Performance down in Widener, Georgia. It made 290 to the tire. That was it.
Okay.
And it ran 7.0s.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what's the new Super run at the track? We've seen it run a couple times. When I say
The
high
newest
sixes,
Supra?
660s,
I think they
680s,
can
Oh.
get high sixes.
somewhere
Yeah.
like that. So you're talking
I think, yeah. I'm sure they can get
15
faster.
years, more than that.
If you want a fast car, you go buy you a brand new car. Much easier.
Yeah. Or would you buy one already built? Or just buy a brand new car? Because that gets into you're fighting somebody else that put the car together, or
Man, buying somebody's car normally is a whole lot cheaper, especially for someone, you know, if you build a car from scratch.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Yes, the financial is, it's so bad.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
okay.
When I sold my Mustang, I said, I'll never build another one. I'll never build another drag car. 15 years later, I built another one, but
So
that was it, the vet.
the vet.
Yeah, that's it. I'll never build another one. That's it. I've learned my lesson. Second time.
Yeah, they're terrible financial investment.
Oh, it's unbelievably bad.
Okay.
I think of I try and think of my car as a college class. I just pay for every 6 months or so.
Yeah.
You know, like,
It's about the same with the Clemson education.
yeah. Most of those are a waste of money. So I just consider myself. I could have had, you know, a lot more letters behind my name for what I've gotten in Volvo.
Oh yes. Yeah.
But which one do you have fun with? So
Yeah.
it is what it is. So you sold a Mustang just to be done with it.
Once I quit running heads up, I switched over to an open comp car. And we had a lot of fun with that. Open comp car at that time in Fun Ford was paying big money. We'd have $10,000 races. So you could show up, you know, with a relatively slow car and, you know, and have a chance of bringing home some big money. And I'd done that for a couple of years, had a great time. But like with any type of racing, if you're not careful, especially when you're running the series, it's the travel time kind of got to me. You know, we were driving 30 or 40,000 miles a year.
Right.
From Epping, New Hampshire to Texas. We went to Texas twice. Iowa, Florida. I mean, the travel time got to you after a while. So once I stopped that, I decided I wanted to, we started looking for a fast street car. So we asked ourselves, what's the best car to run 10s in? A nice car that you can run 10s in.
C5.
3 choices. Was a Toyota Supra, right? A 93, 94 Supra, an 03 Cobra, or a C5 Corvette.
Okay.
Well, at the time, the 03 Cobra was still, you know, $25,000.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't but just a few years old. This is in 2004. You know, a Supra was still pretty good money. You know, 40, 45 grand. And then you have some transmission choices.
Yeah.
You know, with a Cobra, at least you could have an automatic AODE for 70 whatever. So I bought a C5 Vet, and that was it. That's how it all started.
The silver one?
The silver one ran 880s at 82 mile an hour, bone stock.
And that's the motor that was in. That's the motor of that car was the one that was in Nick's.
Correct. Yes.
So the motor lived forever.
It's still going. Still going. Yes.
How many? How many bottles of nitrous went through it?
That's hard to say because I can't keep track.
Couple hundred.
At least. The motor, the car itself probably has 600 passes.
And then it went into the Trans Am.
Went into the Trans Am and kept right on.
Went on.
Fast.
Maybe 5s. It was fast.
It was very, very fast.
It was fast on a completely stock motor.
Yes, and a lot of boost.
A lot of boost.
Are you talking about samples?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
That's the motor that come
Okay.
out
That
of
was
my
the motor
car.
out of C5.
So I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that wasn't the original motor out of the Vet.
Yeah.
That motor was used that I put into the Vet.
Was it LS1 or LS2?
It was LS1.
Yeah. So 5.7.
So it was already unknown mileage when I put it in the Vet.
Nick's out here beating the brakes off.
And
of
I ran it for a long time, then
Yeah.
gave it to Nick. Yeah.
That's all right.
Yep. The motor actually came from Big Keith.
Okay.
Big Keith, it was his motor out of his car originally.
Did he dyno it at the Mustang shop? Brandy's asking. Is that the one that had the record? I don't think so.
No.
I cannot remember. I don't know if we've ever dynoed it, you know?
I
Yeah.
don't think we needed to. It was just a stock motor with 20 pounds on
Yeah.
it.
And a power glide.
And he had to put an air cleaner on it to keep the boost in check. He had to put an air cleaner on just to keep the boost down.
The Power Glide was the
That thing was
Yes,
fast.
it was very fast.
Power Glide
That
was the
thing
And
was
very
fast.
simple combo.
Is the C5 still around?
Yes.
It's local still, I
Oh,
believe,
still
right?
local, still run 690s on motor today.
So that was the first time with GM tuning.
Correct. Before that, it was all
Carburetors and
carburetors and Excel DFI.
I don't even know what that is.
It turned into Fast XFI. That's where Fast XFI came from.
Interesting.
That's a long, that's back when computers still run on DOS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not
That's
sure
well
what that
before.
is.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that was. I couldn't imagine. I could imagine tuning something like that. If it's not as easy as a Holley setup where it basically just tells you what to go do.
Correct. It's all has to do with pulse width of the injector. That's all it was. It's a pretty simple table. Pretty simple setup. But I still will tune my own Hollies. I mean, I still love a Holley carburetor.
Adam Green says he still tunes carbs.
Yeah.
I got 4 of them. I use them as boat anchors for the 9.9 boats.
I love my carburetors. I really do. Carburetor will normally make more power than fuel injection.
Oh, his car is blow through. Adam's car.
Adam's?
Yeah, it's still a carburetor.
Yeah, carburetor. If you don't believe that, watch Engine Masters. When you go watch Engine Masters, where people are bringing motors from all over the country with a very tight set of rules, almost all of them are carburetor.
So what, do you think it's the carburetor, or do you think it's the 4150 style intake that makes the difference?
Neither. It has to do with the fuel flowing through the intake manifold, absorbing the heat.
Okay.
Yep. That's literally what it is. It has to do with the fuel picking up the heat out of the charge air.
Okay.
And if you look at, say, if you look at a modern motor, the fuel injector motor, the injector, well, now it's inside the cylinder. Before it was right above the intake valve. If you look at a Formula One car, where's the injector?
I've never seen one.
Clear at the very top. They spray it and it travels through the whole runner to get that effect of that
Being a carburetor.
of just like a carburetor.
Okay.
Pretty neat. And carburetors always make more power. Now, are they as friendly as fuel injection? No. Fuel injection is much, much easier. Anybody who thinks carburetors are easy, nah, they make me pull my hair out.
I wouldn't know. I talked to Davis today about it. Someone comes up here and asks me to tune a car, but I sent him straight out the door. I don't have a clue, man.
Well, when you think about how a carburetor works, it's all differential pressure. The faster air flows, the lower the pressure is. The lower the pressure is, the more the air can pull the fuel out of the bowl, which has a higher air pressure.
Right.
The air pressure in the bowl isn't moving, the pressure's high. The air going through the carburetor is moving, the pressure's low, and it literally is a controlled fuel leak. And it literally just sucks it out. Trying to get all that, working well over a whole RPM range, tough.
Hard to do.
Tough.
So that started the LS stuff. How did that turn into V8 muscle?
The vet ran very well. Started, trying to help other people here or there. And Jeff Goodell, for all of you who don't know, Jeff Goodell is the other half of V8muscle.net. He's the one that you can actually get a hold of when you need to.
He said this is why you get paid the big bucks.
Yeah, that's right. He approached me and said, "Listen, there's a need here in the area, for somebody who can, help people."
Right.
And what was happening was this. This is real common. Somebody would put their combo together, and they would need it tuned. Well, they'd haul it to Charlotte or Atlanta. Those are your two choices.
Right.
Okay? They'd haul it down to Atlanta. The guy would do whatever he was doing. All right. Tell the customer, "Hey man, you're good to go." The guy would put it back on the trailer, haul it home. Everything's good to go except for the next day when the guy tries to go to work and the car hardly runs.
Right.
No big deal.
Dude, get a bunch of them.
Is that mine?
Hey, I'm not gonna eat no sauce. No.
All right, so no big deal. What the tuners say? Well, just bring it by. We'll take a look at it. It's not a problem.
Right.
Well, he's already taken a day's vacation, rented a U-Haul trailer, got a buddy's truck, hauled all the way to Atlanta. So it wasn't that easy to do that. So that's really how it developed. The fact that a lot of my local friends were getting screwed over by these big shops in Charlotte and Atlanta. It just wasn't economically feasible for them to go back,
back
once a
and forth.
week. Right.
Yeah. Right.
So.
Okay.
So it started there, couple cars.
Couple of cars. Then I started working for a lot of shops, because for a lot of shops, it's easier to call me in, than it is trying to do a lot of stuff in-house. If you're doing 1 car a week or 2 cars a week, it's easier just to call me up and say, "Hey, come by Thursday, we're going to dyno this car."
Right.
So I work with Big Matt Bobrowski, you know, Dino.
Oh, yeah.
Dino Matt, great guy.
Love Matt.
Oh, unbelievable, from Pennsylvania. He, you know, over there at Rock Shop.
He helped me with my Civic.
Yep. Yep, Rock, you know, Rock is one of the a few people here in town. I have one, and Rock has one. I think Chris Becker has one with an eddy current loadable dyno. You know, so we done a lot of cars over there. Started at that point. Started working with shops all over the upstate.
Was that the first dyno locally? Rock's dyno?
No, lots of. There's been dynos. Well, people in the upstate are spoiled.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that right now. People in the upstate are spoiled.
Why is that?
Dyno's
Well,
everywhere.
There's been over
Dynos
10.
everywhere.
Dynos
There's been
everywhere.
over 10.
Tuners everywhere. A wait list that you know that is 3 days long instead of 30 days. So, and it's not just tuners and dynos. We got shops all over the upstate that do incredible work.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this is the car scene here in the upstate is huge.
Yeah.
That's why we're doing
compared to-
this.
People still complain.
It's unbelievable. We have, Amanda Hamilton, she'll tell you, they're from Bristol. They come down here. They come down here to dyno their cars, to buy cars, to go to car shows. It's just not, you know, you would think Bristol would be huge, but it's not. There's nothing like the upstate.
Okay.
And
Why
I
did
don't,
eat this?
they're
Dude,
good.
they're not good.
Why
They're
did
good.
I eat this?
They're good.
And I don't even know how many dynos they are in the upstate.
Yeah.
I
At
couldn't
least,
even.
At least 5, 6.
Oh yeah, there's one in Greer. That's mine. There's 2 in Malden, if I'm not mistaken.
One in
There's-
Greenville.
There's at least 2 in Greenville. There's one in SD plus Pompeii. Both have dynos. And
There's
there's
one in Easley, if not two.
There's one in Easley. There's one in 6 Mile.
Yeah.
There's at least one in
There's
Anderson.
one up by Area 51. The old one from Stable.
Stable. That's at One Stop Auto.
There
I mean, I
was
can go
one-
on and on.
There was one in Cowpens. I don't know where that one's at now.
Stable was back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Mark ran. I ran with Mark.
Oh, yeah.
at,
He ran a 4-star.
in-
What that on
Fort
101 stable?
290.
290.
290. Yeah. There's one in Travelers Rest.
Oh, forgot about one in Travelers Rest?
Sure. East Coast Mustang.
Yeah, I got my cartoon.
Good
there.
guys.
My white
Good guys
car.
up there. Yeah. So-
Joseph Davis.
Yep.
Yeah.
Lots of. I mean, when I say we have it good here, we've got it good here.
Right.
This is probably one of the best places.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
So when
almost
y'all
too
thought
big.
the market was going to be there for V8 muscle, y'all underestimated it. The market's huge.
I had no idea.
The market's massive.
It's massive. It is massive.
Everybody gets their piece.
There's lots of pie
plenty
for
of-
everybody. I thought eventually I would run out of cars.
No.
Isn't it crazy though?
It's dumbfounding.
Yeah.
I cannot believe it. I do more now than ever before.
And you also do a lot of cars around the country.
I do remote tunes
Yeah.
for customers and shops all over the country.
Okay.
I help tuners get going all over the country.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah, because I've been on because I'm still in the Caprice page, and I'm like,
Sure.
Charles Barber, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And then people across the country are like, yeah, he hooked it up. I'm like,
Yeah, I
man,
do.
That's awesome.
If you're not being successful is important, you know. But if you're not sharing that or sharing your knowledge, you're missing out.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, a pool in the backyard is cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
But not if none of your friends come over.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
The pool's worthless. How many of us have went to play around the golf? How many of us have went and played around the golf by ourselves?
It wouldn't be no fun.
Exactly. If you're not sharing your success, sharing, you know, what you've learned with other people, you're missing out on the real, I mean, that's what life's about. You know, and that's the reason, I mean, I've set shops off all over the country.
Yeah.
You know, and got them going. You know, and I don't mind that at all. If you have any questions, I'll tell you. I've got no secrets.
Yeah.
You know.
So that brings me on, like, you want to help people get started and whatnot, and I know some people have watched the HP Academy.
Sure.
Would you ever consider doing a training class and, you know, people pay for it or something like that?
You realize how much work that is? Heck no.
No? Okay. See, yeah, I don't know. I've just seen the HP Academy stuff, and
I wanted to do that one time. Ben Strader from EFI 101 used to have, I don't know if he still does it or not. He used to he used to do training classes, and he set off a lot of things early on in the day. So I bought his book and all, but I mean, if you ever did something like that, I know a lot of people who would sign up.
The YouTube, doing a YouTube channel, I don't see how people do it. It is a massive amount of work. I don't understand. It just.
Oh my gosh.
That's a full-time job.
No, that's a team.
Moore. He got cameras with him all the time.
And you know what? Hey, ask Chris Moore. We were talking about it. I rode back with him from his event or World Cup, or sorry, not World Cup, Hail Mary. He set that world record. And just to keep up with what he's doing on YouTube is a full-time job for him and Kelly.
Right. It is amazing. Now, I would love, if I didn't tune cars, I would probably be, I wouldn't mind teaching at a tech school. That would be an awesome job. But I've got no secrets. You've dynoed a car with me before, right?
Plenty.
I'll tell you exactly what I'm doing step by step. I've got zero secrets.
Well, you pull it on a board too, on the TV.
Yeah. I'll walk you right through it now. And that's one thing that I do things a little bit different. I rarely, if ever, dyno or tune a car without the owner there. I don't do that. I don't like that. No.
A lot of people don't want you there. They don't want you around.
And that's fine. And I don't understand that, but I want the customer there because it's their car. They need to be involved in the process. They need to see what we're doing, why we're doing it, what we're changing, what we can and cannot do.
Absolutely.
And it's super, super important. And I don't understand why some shops and I don't know of any shop around here that does this, but I have heard some shops, down mainly in Atlanta,
I'm gonna make a drink.
to where they make the customer wait in a waiting room while they dyno their car.
I've been at shops and watched them do that, not only in Atlanta, New York, Chicago. I watched a shop in Seattle. The only shop that I watched a customer be near the car was Speed Factory. They wanted people right there with them.
Yeah, and because you want, number one, if something goes south.
By the way, Grant's gonna go south with this drink.
I see the brown, I see Dr. Pepper, but I can't not do this.
Yeah, you can't beat that.
I opened that Dr. Pepper and I saw his mouth start.
What was it again?
But anyway.
South Carolina 5th Gen.
Yeah,
I'm sorry to interrupt
South Carolina
you, my
5th Gen Camaro Club. As far as a Camaro Club, they are awesome. But like I said,
There she is.
There it is.
yeah.
She said it's a liability or insurance reasons. Oh, she's talking about tuning. I thought you were talking about liability for Grant to have.
And I understand that, but I'm not sure if that's all.
He did for us.
I don't know. Because I know 90% of the time, if we're dynoing your car, I have the customer drive the car on the dyno.
Yeah.
You see me do that, AJ's done it. Because like I said, it's their car and we got to get people involved because there's always decisions to be made. How high do you want to spin it?
Right.
How much power do you want to make?
Or how are you going to drive it?
Yeah, how are you going to drive
You going to race it and put it up, or you going to daily drive it?
Or is this one that you just got from the salvage sale you're trying to fix because you want to resell?
You want 2-mile RSX when you're talking like that? How much power you want?
A good example was we dynoed a C7 vet the other day with a little tiny Vortec on it. Little A&A Vortec. Great thing.
C7s are nice.
C7 super nice. But it is an LT1 car. They're not the strongest motor ever made. They're not as durable as an LS3. They're a little bit on the, the pistons are kind of thin,
Okay.
So, I stopped at 650 horsepower.
On a C7?
Yeah. And so we could have made a lot more, but, we got to ask the owner and said, listen, how far do you want to go? So sometimes having the owner there, we can actually, talk about what's going on and make an intelligent decision.
Yeah.
Right.
Instead of me just giving them the car and saying, here it is, this is the way it's going to be. The way I like a car set up is totally different. Everybody's different. So it's nice having the owner there.
Yeah. That's completely understandable.
So what do you've done all kinds, all makes, models, everything. Mostly LS stuff, all makes and models within the LS LT platform. So, in your opinion, if someone buys a stock car, if they call up most shops, first thing they're going to say is, I want the biggest cam I can get. I want it to sound crazy. You know, I want that thing to beat, I want it to beat the ground.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
That's
Right?
a long ass crown.
Right. But sometimes that's not the best choice. So, in your opinion, what is the best first mod or two if someone's going to do it for a car they're going to drive every single day or most days or take to the mountains, not just put it in a trailer and haul it to the track like we do?
First thing you want to do is a custom tune always helps. That is actually one of the least expensive mods you can do.
Bang for buck.
Oh yeah, always. And there's always something left on the table. And it's not about horsepower. Car makes the power. I don't make the power. You know, we're going to get the air fuel ratio right and the timing right. Whatever it makes, it makes. And you've seen us, right?
Yeah.
We've dialed the curve. Well, I guess I don't know if everybody can see. When you look at your curve of your horsepower and your timing, you know, your timing on your x-axis, horsepower on your y-axis. You know, it's a curve. Okay. So when the timing is real low, and you put some timing in it, you pick up a bunch of power. But when you get to the top, that curve starts getting flat. All right? And then finally, you know, when you start adding a bunch of timing, you may start losing some power. So that big flat part on top of that curve is a big window. So, and I've had customers, I said, you know, they said, well, can we get more power? I said, I don't know, you want to put 2 degrees in it? Well, yeah, let's try 2 degrees. We'll put 2 degrees in it. What happens to the power?
Nothing.
Not a thing. Not a bit.
Nothing at all.
Now, when we get down in here, there's a big gain to be had.
Yeah.
Once we get up here to our plateau,
Nothing.
there's nothing there. It's just not. And the same way with air fuel. Okay? We can run, and air fuel is the exact same way. We can run that air fuel at 11.0 and make 300 horsepower. We can lean it out to 12.0 and make 308.
But
You
you
know-
want that risk.
Well, then we go from 12.0 to 12.8, and we go from 308 to 309.5.
Right.
It's the same way, you know. And like I said, in for people who've been there on the dyno, the car makes the power. But back to my, you know, why we do custom tunes. It's the transmission, it's the throttle response, it's the fan setting.
You might make the same exact horsepower,
But
but
man,
the whole range
feels so
you'll-
much better.
You'll see it in the ET too.
Yes, yeah, almost always, especially on stock cars. Man, there's a couple of tenths just in a custom tune. Changing no parts, there's a couple of tenths.
That's more than you get with headers.
Yes,
Something like that.
and it costs less than an airbox.
But you hit on something. A car you're going to drive every day. And this is a testament to you. I know someone that you tuned their Tahoe. And you did transmission settings, and I'm pretty sure you did a custom tune on. I'm not really sure what you did, but Jeremy Miller, DJ Funky White Boy, he had a white Tahoe, pearl white Tahoe, and it's about a year ago, and maybe a year and a half ago, and he went crazy. He drives the car up the mountain to Asheville a lot. And I rode with him before you tuned it. I rode with him after you tuned it. It's a completely different car.
Yeah.
Gas mileage is much better. The transmission doesn't shift a million times trying to go up. The North Carolina, South Carolina, that hill right there off 25. And it just changed the whole, characteristic of the Tahoe. And with you saying that, and with him saying, you know, a car you're going to drive every day, that's probably one of the strongest things, that it doesn't have to be a car that you're taking to the drag strip. It doesn't have to be a car that you're taking on the road course. It can be that car that you're just driving around. It still can get that custom too.
You figure probably 20% of the vehicles I do are bone stock trucks.
Really?
Bone stock.
It changed everything though. Towing.
Oh yeah, everything.
How it tows, how it drives, how it pulls from the stop.
Saves a 4L60.
Yes, save the transmission.
4L60s.
Does it change?
Ford help them.
Are you doing something as far as the cooling is concerned, or just the shifting, or all of it?
All of it. There's no low hanging fruit. None. No low hanging fruit. But we pick up all the little pieces.
Even the fans.
We pick it up the pennies, and guess what? Next thing you know, we got $1. You know, it's all the little stuff.
I'm gonna have to.
So when someone says, well, how much power does it gain? I can't lie to them. I got to tell them 10, 15, maybe 20. If we're really stuck on a low octane timing table or something, or really out of whack because of your cold air intake.
If we got a vet and they put 87 in it on the way to the
Sure.
dyno.
Oh yeah. Well,
Well, that's another thing you're probably
We've had
asking
that.
is what kind of gas do you got the most
Yeah.
of around? You know.
Yeah.
And
Makes
if
a
you're
difference.
doing remote, do you have 91? Do you have 93?
Sure, because-
are you an E85
yeah,
car?
because when the guys are out west, not 89 or 91 is really common, especially in the higher altitude. Octane starts going down.
Kingman, Arizona. I went through there and I couldn't find anything over 89 at the pump.
Yes.
Anywhere.
That's very common.
That's a question I've always had it for remote teams. I guess they just do it based on the log that gets sent to them. But the difference in air from here to like if you choose someone in Montana,
Woo!
Cylinder pressure.
there's a big difference.
It's strictly cylinder pressure. I mean, well, you've heard us talk about it, and we talk about how much air pressure do we have on us right now? How much air pressure is on us?
I
Yeah.
have to look it
I've
up
heard
on
this
my
talk,
iPad.
I'm like,
I'm not even gonna hit.
I'm dumb.
I'm dumb because I have nothing to say.
yeah, I have
don't
no
know.
idea.
All right. What happens when you go to the bottom of that swimming pool that all your friends are hanging out? Sure, 10 feet down, your ears hurt.
Yeah,
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Why? Because water's heavy.
yeah.
Right. All right. But if you go up in the mountains, do your ears pop?
Oh yeah, they
Yeah.
pop. But yeah.
Sure.
But
But
But it
but
don't
why?
because it's lighter.
Yeah, because we have less air pressure on us. So is air heavy or light?
Like,
Light. All right. Water's heavy. 10 feet of water makes a big difference. So how deep are we in the swimming pool right now?
yeah, that's all
How
gonna
deep
come.
are we in the swimming pool?
We're head above water.
3 or 4 miles?
Yep.
Do we not
Oh,
have
sea
a
level?
3 or 4
Yeah.
mile column of air on us right now?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
And we have about 14 psi on us right now.
Bar.
1 bar, 1 atmosphere, 14.5 psi.
That is
bar.
If we didn't, what would happen to us? We'd die because we wouldn't have any air. What happens? What's the pressure in outer space?
Zero.
Nothing.
0. Exactly. Right now, we have 14.5 psi. All right, now here, get this. All right, this is going to blow your mind. Does the car suck in air when it's running?
Yeah.
I would think so, but probably not. By the
No,
way.
is it vacuum?
See-
Is it off of
Sure,
vacuum?
but vacuum is nothing.
Yeah, so.
What makes the air go into the motor?
Atmospheric pressure.
Sure, 14.5 psi.
That should have been multiple choice.
Think about how crazy. If
I feel
you
like I'm
had
back
a
at school
jar,
right now.
if you had a jar of vacuum, a perfect vacuum, if you cracked the lid, what would happen?
Nothing.
The air would rush
air go
in
in.
there.
And that's the
That's the atmospheric pressure
Yeah.
pushing on us. That's all that runs a motor. Why does a motor not
Adam
run?
said
Not,
1 bar.
yeah. Why does the motor not run good at 4,000 feet? Is it not sucking just as hard?
Don't have
But it
enough.
don't
Yeah.
have the air.
Sure, it's got 13.5 psi pushing of atmospheric pressure.
okay.
That makes
And we
me-
know 14.5 psi is a whole lot better than 13.5 psi.
That makes me
So them guys in the
rethink
mountains.
That's
ain't
how,
doing
why did,
3 things. That makes me rethink all that Colorado racing.
yes.
It makes me rethink what they're doing going up Pikes Peak because
See, that's
now
where
they're
I was
going from
just about to
high to
ask this.
high.
Yeah.
How do you tune, like, because they're in Pikes Peak right now.
Yeah.
Like, Kale and them are up there
Sure.
right now for the hill climb. How do you tune a car for Pikes Peak?
Because you have what's called a map sensor.
Okay.
Okay, if it's speed density, it's a map sensor. Okay?
That's where the
Sure. So right now, if we get in there, we turn the key on, we don't start it. Okay? We read what's the map sensor reading? Well, we have 0 vacuum, right? It's the same pressure inside the motor as outside the motor. It's going to read 98 kilopascals. 100 is 14.5 psi, 1 bar. But we're not under 14. It's never going to be perfect unless we go down near sea level or we're at the drag strip and we have negative DA.
Yeah.
Right?
And there's going to be certain drag
That's a
strips that
yeah,
have it.
sure. That's more, you know.
Yeah.
All right. But guess what happens when you turn the key on the same car on the top of Pikes Peak? It's not going to read 98 kilopascals, is it? It's going to read 90 or 88.
It's going to read what's up there.
Yes, because the pressure is right. So
Okay.
when the car is running, it's looking for the value inside that motor, and a wide open throttle down here at wide open throttle, it's going to read 94, 95 kilopascals. There's always going to be some vacuum.
Yeah.
All right. Up there, it reads 88
Yeah.
or 89. And it took me a long time to grasp that because people were sending me logs who, you know, and I'm thinking, man, their map sensor's down to 88. They must have some type of restriction in the down here. We say you got a clogged air filter.
Right.
You're choking the motor down. They just happen to live at 6,000 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how it works because he was looking for the it takes into account that.
Well, that's
Okay.
the big difference going up there now because you got those battery powered cars,
Yes.
and when they go up through there,
They don't care.
Yeah.
now
it
you
makes a
have to
difference.
rethink your driving going up through
Yeah.
there because another thing that I was seeing when I was there, I spent a week and a half there and watching the drivers get lightheaded
Yeah.
or get
Yes.
real sick going up.
Yes.
Okay,
Now-
so
But that's a big difference in fuel injecting and carbureted
Sure.
going on Pikes Peak.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
You know
wasn't
what I
even
mean?
thinking about carbureting.
Big time.
Carbureted
how-
cars,
how would
some
you-
of them, well,
They start having trouble.
yeah.
So you're saying, I mean, I don't know everything. So you're saying when they start at the bottom of the mountain at Pikes Peak, that map sensor is making the changes itself as they
Correct,
go up.
because as it starts going up, the air starts getting thinner.
He does,
Your
Chris.
wide open throttle map
He
sensor
does.
starts reading lower,
He said you better have New Balance.
and the lower the map
So you took the
sensor,
sketches off.
Hang tight, Chris. We coming.
the lower the map
You have
sensor,
to set one on the table.
This
the,
right
the lower the map sensor,
Yeah.
you know, the less fuel it's going to give it.
here. Usually the
That's how any speed density. My wife, bless her heart, she'll buy these on sale, 2 or 3 pairs at a
So
time. And
we
keep
talk about these online so much.
It makes a difference.
I think we talk about them once a day, once a month.
It's all the difference in the world.
No, but honestly, like that is amazing because now you got me thinking of these things that I'm not totally familiar with GM cars or whatnot or any kind of domestics, but as far as us, import guys, especially our turbo guys, you have to have that 4-bar map system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess it's trying to correct.
Well, a factory non supercharged car has a 1-bar map. Okay, what can it read? It can read
14.
perfect vacuum. The perfect vacuum, 0 kilopascals to a positive 14.5. What we have on us now. Can it read boost? No, because it's stopping right here. Okay, how much can a 2-bar read? A 2-bar reads another 14.5.
20.
So it reads from a perfect
29.
vacuum to 0 boost to a positive 14 or a positive 28 kPa, which is
25,
absolute.
29.4.
Right, and then 3-bar adds another bar on top of that. Why wouldn't everybody not put a 4-bar map sensor in the car?
Because
Just go ahead and do it.
Well, I mean, originally
What
they
do
wouldn't mean it.
What do you? Okay, Holly guys will know that. What kind of span do you have on any of your sensors in your Holly? 0 to 5 volt. Right. 4.5. 0 to 5 volt.
Yeah.
Okay, with a 1-bar map, I take that 1-bar map and I spread it out
Stretch it out.
over 4.5 volts.
Yeah.
Lots of
Window.
great resolution. Guess what happens when you put a 3-bar in there? Well, now my first bar only has a 1.5 volts to work with. So the resolution gets really, really bad.
Oh.
That's the reason you don't run any more map sensors than you need to, because as the bars go up, we got to cram more data. We only have 5 volts to work with, so the resolution starts getting really, really bad. Everything works on 5 volts. Everything
Yeah.
works on 5 volts.
I needed that.
Yeah, and there's a reason.
turbo cars.
Yeah.
I probably went through about 20 of those,
Yeah.
and then I finally got one. I think mine's from a Ford now.
Yeah. Okay, now how do we get
You're on
away?
4-bar?
Yeah.
How do we get away from the atmosphere, the altitude, killing the power of your car? How do we get away from that?
Nitrous.
More fuel.
Nope.
I always say more fuel. That's my answer for
What do
everything.
airplanes do?
Fly.
Turbo. You put a turbo on it. Why do airplanes have turbos? Why do we have turboprops? Well, guess what happens when an airplane gets higher and higher? What does the horsepower rating do?
The air
Probably
goes
drops.
Go down?
Because they got no air. Now the airplane goes faster because the air is really thin. But guess what the horsepower does?
Drop.
It goes to nothing.
down. Right.
And think about these little Cessnas trying to fly, take off from Asheville. on a really hot day in really thin air, they don't have enough power to get out of their own way. So there is a ceiling on how high an airplane can fly because it simply runs out of air.
Yeah.
But guess what you can do to an airplane?
Put turbo on it.
Put a turbo on it.
Yes.
So guess how much boost a turbo prop makes? Say you're a little airplane with a little air-cooled
5
4-cylinder.
pounds.
Maybe. I don't know if it even makes that.
Really?
Sure.
So it's
It
like
can't be
tractor
much.
equipment.
It only makes a couple of pounds.
It's only got a
So
bucket.
is
But
it
guess
higher?
what it does? When it takes off, it makes 3 pounds. So it makes X amount of horsepower. As that air gets thinner, guess how much boost it makes?
Probably not.
Still makes 3 pounds.
It don't
Because the
drop
turbo,
off.
no, turbo just works a little harder. The turbo's not there to make a bunch of extra power. The turbo's there to maintain the power as the altitude climbs. That's the reason turboprops, we don't want to stress that motor, but we sure would be good if that motor made 150 horsepower at sea level. If we can make the same 150 horsepower at 15,000 feet where the air is thin and that airplane can really fly, guess what? It's really, really fast.
If
So we
Randy
wanna
Miller
make-
don't put a turbo on his airplane, I'm not riding in it.
Yeah. Randy Miller, well, hopefully he'll talk all about turboprop and how much more ceiling elevation that they can fly because they're turbocharged. And in an airplane, it's all about flying in thin air.
Yeah, so jet go higher than prop plane.
Oh yeah,
All day.
all day long.
Yeah.
And the thin air, man, it's easier the thinner the air, the faster it goes.
I may have just got a new tuner.
Well, that's why they
Yeah,
got
serious.
That's why they went to 10,000 feet was because the air was thin and they get better
It
like,
is.
fuel mileage.
It is, yeah.
Going through, because I was wondering, like,
Thinner the thinner. Why don't
why
we
it go so high?
Okay, here's the good. Yeah, you look at a fighter jet. How fast can a fighter jet travel at
Oh, that's
1,000 feet?
fast.
1,000 feet elevation.
Was it like
Not sure.
Maybe.
900 horsepower? 800
Well,
horsepower?
I mean,
Let's just,
No,
let's
they
just-
could break. They
can break the sound barrier.
which is
maybe,
1100.
maybe. You
But
know? But guess
I'm not
what?
that high.
Guess how fast they can fly at 40,000 feet?
Woo.
2.5 times speed of sound.
God dang.
Sure, because the air is so thin. That's the higher the elevation, the faster an airplane can go. If it
That's
has
why
the
the
power,
Concorde was such a hit.
yeah,
Flying at 60,000
yeah,
feet.
you want because that's where it's the fastest.
God dang. 60,000 feet.
60,000.
That's not bad, dude.
I got the highest I've got to fly is 44,000, and
What?
the difference between 38 and 44,000, the pressure you can feel in the cabin.
What's a ramjet? Adam said when Boggs and I was talking about a ramjet.
The Ramjet, man, it's
741 is
is
Mach in a
Mach 1.
fighter at sea level.
at
Okay,
sea level,
thank you.
right?
Sea level.
At sea level.
Yes. Guess
Thank
what
you. I thought
happens
it
when
was
you go
1100.
Higher.
higher?
It takes
Faster.
less,
Correct. The speed of sound.
slows down.
I thought it was 1100. don't
I
know.
think the speed of sound slows down as the elevation gets
Does it?
higher.
I don't know.
Because the speed of sound in water is faster than the speed of sound in air. Sound travels faster in water than it does in air. 99% sure. Somebody can Wikipedia that.
Yeah, they'll
The
definitely fact check.
speed
Hey, I'm
of
glad
sound
I'm
in
not on
water.
this camera because I didn't.
Dude,
I'm
I'm over here like, what?
I thought we were talking about LS motors.
Dude.
I'm gonna rethink my whole
Dude, you
life.
should have heard him and Chase going back and forth at FC one time, and I'm just over here like,
I'm
I have no
not-
clue what y'all are talking about, but I'm interested.
I'm just not happy that I tried those wings. I can't stop eating them.
That lemon pepper from
They're good.
Merrill's is
Woo!
try the pizza. The pizza
Yeah, Merrill's is good.
It's like a buffalo.
Where
It's
is-
buffalo. It's
on the
buffalo.
back of
Buffalo what?
Buffalo chicken with bacon.
Nah, I'm chill. I'm chill.
There's pepperoni right
Oh,
there.
okay, yeah, okay. But that stuff is good.
Charles, you got a background in engineering?
Yes, from Greenville Tech. My original,
Technical
I went
school,
to
Adam.
school
Does
originally.
anybody?
I'm a business
down.
major. You know, that's really what I went to school for, business.
Okay.
And I was extremely fortunate. I moved to South Carolina. Me and my wife moved to South Carolina in 1990.
And that was from West Virginia.
West Virginia, yes.
Okay.
Coal mine.
So if you
Oh,
want to talk
cold.
about my
Coal
education background, it's West Virginia education background. So you know,
Yeah.
They got 3 elementary schools in West Virginia.
yeah. We learned about all this stuff in 3rd grade.
Is that your favorite song?
Didn't you? What?
West Virginia.
Oh yeah, you know it, baby. We sing it at every football game.
All right.
That's why you knew where
Take
Logan
it
was.
home.
It's
Yeah.
that house the other day.
And I'm going to go back and touch about South Carolina.
Ford said
this state.
Sound travels 5 times faster in water.
There you go.
How?
It's thicker.
It,
The molecules are closer together. So the sound goes from one molecule to the next much quicker.
The wavelength.
Yeah. I'm telling you.
Idiots.
We talked about that.
But yeah.
And if you don't believe me,
Grant's going to go jump out the shop real quick.
Well, no, think about it. Think about it. If you're in water and somebody says something, you hear it real quick. Real quick. It's like, oh, no,
Look,
no,
fish
no.
don't even have external ears.
Yeah. I tell you what, somebody ought to Wikipedia how fast the jet travels at sea level and how fast they travel at elevation.
Kyle Barnett better be watching this.
That would be
'cause
kinda neat.
He is the ultimate on
The
Wikipedia.
thinner the air, the faster it goes. So some jets can't even break the sound barrier at sea level, but they can break the sound barrier at 40,000 feet.
Yeah.
So yeah, somebody ought to Wikipedia that. But
Got you, Eddie.
So while we're talking about sea level and stuff like that, back to tuning, that all goes back to data.
oh yeah.
People go out and throw stuff
Bye.
together, and they don't ever look at what the car is actually doing.
The guys that I help, the shops that I help tune, I work with several of them. They get tired of hearing me say, "What's the data say?" The data tells you everything you need to know. You just got to look at the data. The data literally will set you free. If you're not gathering the data and looking at the data and being able to interpret the data, you're swimming upstream.
Your
literally
your next V8muscle.net shirt, I will make it, and it's gonna have to have the data will set you free.
I'm telling you, the data will set
That's
you
it.
free.
But also,
It'll have to have half a data's face from
but it also
Star
has to
Trek
say,
on it.
key on, don't start
Don't
it.
start. Well, we have those already made.
I don't have one.
How many times, ask Eric, how many times do I ask, Tracy Holzclaw, great fella, how many times do I ask him, what's the book say? Right? He'll say, well, I can't remember what we done at Union last time. What do we say?
He have a book.
What's the book say?
Yeah.
So, Eric, you got your book?
It's in the car. It's in the car outside the shop.
You want to go get it?
I can.
Yeah.
I remember shit talk C-Dub from the forums. He's nice Charles now.
Oh! Okay.
That wasn't
That, I don't know who that, yeah, who was that?
Kyle Barnett.
Okay, all
what
right.
form was that though?
I don't want to say. I know
Okay.
exactly what forum it is because I was on it.
All right, well, I'm going to,
No. He's
that.
messing with you.
Okay.
He's messing with you.
I've not always
Tracy don't
been
have his book.
friendly Uncle Chuck. All right. At one time, I was a pretty big asshole. I mean, like a major asshole.
We've all been there.
I mean, like I went above and beyond. I mean, just absolutely terrible.
I mean, that's what Kyle Barnett is now.
Oh.
You said that.
I thought you meant Kyle Simpson.
No.
Just it being
Kyle was on that forum.
and being young.
No, it was
Fast
Fast
and
Eating.
Easy,
Fast
Yeah, that was a fun forum.
It come from being young and being stupid and thinking you knew everything. But as you've gotten older, I've realized there's no reason ever to be an asshole to anybody.
Maurice said, I've heard the stories about Charles. I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to put cars on the trailer.
That's exactly what I said.
I love that.
Yes.
If that's what you said,
Yes.
then I'm fully with it.
You say it today, though, people will freak out. They'll be hurt. They'll lose their mind. You can't talk like that.
That's all I cared about was winning.
I watched
That's all I
somebody
care
say that
about.
about a photo the other day. This week, in fact, somebody.
This is
It
true,
was
though.
sad.
Everyone still
It
thinks
was
like that.
sad the way it went, but what he said, I'm gonna leave this individual nameless. What he said was the absolute truth. And some people are not gonna be nice to you, but sometimes they're gonna be your greatest person to propel you forward to get you to the next level. Sometimes you need to hear that. Hey, dude, you suck. Like, I hate to say it.
Corrective criticism.
Yeah, because that really helped me. Like, I was horrible at photos and video. I couldn't do this stuff. And out of nowhere, I got pretty good at it, but it didn't come from being nice. It didn't come from just everything being iced over. Sometimes I needed to get home and my photos look like crap and things not go right to get ate up on forums. That's how I grew, and that's how a lot of people grew. So definitely, I know that you were young and you say it, there's no reason, but sometimes that helps people. Sometimes being that, and being the antagonist.
Yeah. Well, I've settled down quite a bit, and I'll be honest with you. Now that I've settled down, my life is better.
Really?
Much better.
It's a lot more content. Just don't be angry. Just let things go.
It is so. I used to hold a grudge and be
nice.
hateful. And I kind of remember what somebody told me one time. When somebody makes you mad, really pisses you off, they're controlling you. That person is controlling you.
They have
control over you. They're making you act that way. And I kind of took that to heart to where now I'm a whole lot.
It's so much easier to be chill. Just don't
much
worry about
better.
it. They'll still be mad. We'll be eating barbecue.
Yeah.
We ain't got a clue they're still mad.
I try to take the high road. I try to take the high road, man, and I got too much stuff on my plate.
Sonny Scott said you was picking on him.
Oh yeah,
back in the truck.
Yeah.
Back in the day, he got a turbo truck now.
Very fast.
Red one.
Oh,
very
nice truck.
fast.
And also, Eddie said, which I completely forgot, which tomorrow is list racing. Also at Rear Drag.
awesome.
List race tomorrow.
List racing.
Hey,
Forrest, you better show up.
I don't know how many of you have went by and shaked Ryan Morris's hand and thanked him for what he has done.
He's been doing it for a long time.
If your car's in pieces and you should go shake his hand, your car might get put back together magically.
Oh,
I don't know.
Yeah. He don't mind working.
He's fast at it.
Anybody who works on a 4-valve motor don't mind working.
Nah, man, he did an amazing thing for putting that list.
It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I hope they appreciate it.
He gets mad.
It's a lot of work.
He gets so mad.
Like
I
I
can
said
understand
earlier,
why.
putting on a race is like hoarding cats. Everybody wants their own rule set. Someone wants this, someone don't want this. For a lot of, that's why we talked about that with Rob, I think, or Darren or someone. The whole thing about like X275. The only reason it exists is because John Sears does a great job keeping up with the rules.
Yes.
And if you look at the actual times that they run, not in qualifying, but in eliminations, they're within tenths of seconds.
That's what
for the whole field.
That means you got good rules.
And he keeps
That's
them
what
in
that
check.
means.
But that's what keeps it. But there's so many people mad at him. I'm sure. You know how much hate he probably gets for making the rules. But at the same time, you have to listen to some of that because the people you make the rules for are the people that are coming and supporting. So you have to take them all into consideration. But
I heard some of
they
that
take
in
a lot of
Maryland.
heat at the same time.
Hey, there was a lot of heat in Maryland about that class.
X275.
Oh, yes. Because people were mad. This didn't go that way. This didn't go that way.
It's because the nitrous cars always get the weight breaks.
I saw something about that this week. Somebody getting a weight break.
The nitrous car won't back out like a turbo car. Weight's a big deal in a nitrous car. Like he was saying earlier, 60 foot in a nitrous car. I mean, you're talking. Lyle Barnett put 40 miles an hour on me. Let's just throw that out there.
What?
Let's just, was it a year ago, 2 years ago?
It was a year ago.
Almost a year ago. The first pass I ever went in a car, basically, Lyle Barnett was who I drew. Go figure, in beer money. And we left decently about the same. He was probably a tenth faster on 60 foot. My car was not where it should be at all. But regardless, 40 miles an hour.
It's a lot.
I mean,
That's
a lot of
come on. If my car had been 100%, it wouldn't have made up.
No.
It wouldn't have made up a tenth of that. You know what I mean?
That's a lot.
That's a lot of mile an hour. So.
And this just come across my desk. Eddie just sent me a picture.
Eddie and Tracy.
Yeah, Eddie and Tracy.
Yeah, I saw the post. I think it was Eddie.
Yeah.
But
when he pulled the laundry on Tracy.
oh yeah.
Oh no. He said something about this is the best.
But Tracy's car's still running, right?
Oh,
Oh, my bad. My bad. Oh, I'm sorry. That's a-hole Charles coming back out.
I was swallowing.
If you have not seen it, Eddie's car just got repainted.
Beautiful.
By Dayton Clayton. And
Beautiful.
it's over getting some fab work done right now. That sucker.
Pretty
is
awesome.
Nice.
That's a show car, race car.
Whose
It
car?
is nice.
I would be scared to race it.
Eddie?
Yeah.
Oh,
you need
gosh,
to get some pictures of that, man. It's gorgeous. He sent me some pictures a while back.
You got a
After he got it
carburetor,
painted.
carburetor guy.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Still.
it's really something.
So
And
he-
also Darren's car, which you saw at
EFI.
Union. Yep, that thing's very beautiful.
they'll have both of them on the
Yeah,
list.
Yeah, on the 86,
Yeah.
Darren runs 864
On the
Outlaws.
Mm-hmm.
He has that burgundy font.
Yeah, no, I
Been doing it a long time too.
Mm-hmm.
Long time.
I like
Adam
that car
was-
running at Valdosta.
I hope
Real
Adam
strong.
come and take
Yeah,
that.
real
Was it
strong.
$500 they put on top if a shady side person outruns a Greer person?
Yeah.
And
$500.
And Adam said, I hope that's Eric that put that money up.
Did he really?
It's up here somewhere, yeah.
Eric,
There's a lot
who?
of,
Me?
yeah,
You talking about me?
yeah. It's up here somewhere.
Oh, he said, there it is. I see it. I don't know if Eric's put up that $500 extra. I got a piece of it. I'll put in some of it. $500 is
Make sure you put your name on the bills.
$500 is 6 months' salary. That's
Yeah.
that's rough.
Yeah.
Well, but I think it's
Half my skinny
I
check.
really think it's good. And that's why I've tried to be involved with the A64. We got a little
You know
A64
how-
little sticker
Yeah.
on it
You know how
because
many New Balance that money buys?
yeah, a lot.
Oh, yeah.
6 pairs.
Oh yeah.
And a couple of
A
tennis
lot more
balls
than that.
too.
Yeah, but
When you buy them off sale and you wait.
there is a lot of fast cars around here, and I know Greer. At some point, the track is the equalizer for cars that
Right.
run at that level. A lot of them run fast. So,
Mhm.
I think it's going to be a fun class if we can get it up and rolling. Jimmy's very involved. I think Jimmy made the stickers. Jimmy did a lot of
nice.
stuff. Jimmy Shannon.
Awesome.
What's his upstate
sticker's awesome.
performance something transmissions?
Pro Trans.
Upstate Pro
Upstate
Trans.
Pro Trans,
Yep.
yeah.
Also, Carolina Tent.
Oh yeah.
They in here right now tinting windows, by the way. You can't hear them,
Yeah.
but they're in here. We got 2 cars in here. They tinting windows on at the same time.
It's kind of
Yeah.
like the state road crew.
Like-
One person working and,
Like Eddie said,
Oh.
it
and a
was
bunch
not
of us
me.
just standing
Yeah.
around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hey,
I did not put up the $500,
Hey, that's
but
a-
I
that's
am
a
going
show.
to. I am going to sponsor this one again, like we did the last one. So, what would you do if you were not tuning? Because you tune basically full time, a lot of shots. You want to tell? You don't want to tell people how many tune. We'll keep that a secret. But
It's staggering.
yeah, I know
It's staggering.
it's a lot.
But at the same time, I work 90 hours a week.
Right.
So, you know,
And that's between both?
yeah. I work for a local tire. Can I say? Can I say that?
Yeah.
I guess it don't matter.
It's
Facebook Live.
It's free
I work-
advertisement.
I work for Michelin Tire Corporation, one of the greatest companies in the upstate.
And been there for a while.
Absolutely fantastic. I think I've been there. I'm a short timer there. I've maybe been there 15 years.
They got a lot of tenure.
Yeah. 30-year guys is easy killer. 30 years
Careful.
I
is
knew I
not
was
the
there.
norm. But at the same time, Michelin is also my side job. You know, I'm a full-time tuner. That's what I enjoy to do.
You have
I do
a great building you work in.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I work at the research center. Can't get much better. You know, it's awesome. I've been very grateful to Michelin. Before Michelin, I worked at Hitachi for a lot of years before they closed up. Loved Hitachi. Thought I'd work there forever.
Where was that at?
On Malden Road, right
Oh.
there. The great big building is
Yeah.
now a kayak place.
Okay.
Yep.
What's it?
When they first built that building,
Confluence
people
is
went
what it's
crazy.
called.
Yes.
Confluence Outdoors.
You got to remember, when I moved here in 1990, me and my wife, and we've been married for 30 some years. Very, very fortunate to be married to a good woman. For the married guys, they will tell you a good woman makes more difference in a man's life than anything.
Absolutely.
It is a good woman affects a man's net worth more than his college education or where he works or anything. If you've got somebody there supporting you, it makes life so much easier.
Look, she brought the pizza.
Oh yeah, it can.
And when I was out
Just like
breaking
that.
seals, I got done. She said, "Hey, do y'all need another pizza?"
Yeah. So it don't get any
I
better.
hope
than that.
everybody's paying attention. Charles is bringing in church this evening.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
got
I
it
mean,
going.
But we moved here. When I moved to South Carolina, you know,
Influence.
I had nothing. We started with zero.
Yeah.
I had $248 in my pocket, and all my clothes in 2 garbage bags in the back of a car that didn't belong to me.
So
And when I went to
1990.
1990, and when I went to get an apartment, I wrote him a bad check. I didn't have no money.
yeah.
You'll have that on those bigger.
Yeah,
cars.
that's exactly right.
Okay, so-
So I love South Carolina, man. It is undoubtedly one of the greatest places to live.
That's why everybody's moving here.
Yes, it is awesome.
So what
Not
drew
in the
your
housing
eye
market.
to South Carolina?
I needed a job.
Needed a job, and you knew
Point
this
blank.
was the place to come.
Sure, when you're coming from South Carolina, everybody moves to the Carolinas. That's just a fact.
Everybody from
Yeah, everybody from
Everybody
West
from
Virginia
all
moves
over.
somewhere else to make a
Come to
living.
South Carolina.
Yeah, and it's been awesome. It's the best.
Then they
best decision
retired
I've
in
ever
Florida.
made.
I'll tell you, a couple, more than a couple, probably 10 of our people on the race team at Michelin
Yeah.
are all from West Virginia.
You see what Eric Owens
Yeah.
said?
All of
We
them
get
are
them
from
chicken
West
wings?
Virginia.
He said, Grant, Charles said a good woman, not a man.
No,
Well, Graham's got to keep his options open. You know, that's what's good about him. He's flexible. You know what I mean? You don't want to get.
that's a double entendre.
Oh yeah.
I'm waiting for you to go into the Rock story.
Oh yeah.
But no, honestly, there's a number of the
My stuff's
guys
still
and
loaded.
girls on
Yeah.
the Michelin team from West Virginia,
Yeah.
so that's very interesting.
It
when you
is.
say
It
that.
is. And so, yeah, it's just to let everybody know, that man, this is an awesome place to live. It really is.
So back to the question: if you weren't tuning, what would you be doing?
If I did not tune, what would I be doing?
Passionate about outside of racing.
I probably would have taken a teaching job at Michelin.
Oh, so you
teaching
spend
job.
most of his time
Oh yeah,
in
because
Vermont.
Michelin has their own technical school.
Yeah.
You know, every maintenance person goes through the whole, we call it Michelin boot camp.
Okay.
You know, they get about, BMW used to send their guys there. They get a couple of 100 hours of training. I probably would do that. The only other thing that, me and Eric have talked about this
This one got ice in it.
is personal. I don't want to say personal finance, but I think I could be a financial coach.
Okay.
Because, especially in high school, I don't think we do a good job teaching people how to be successful after high school in real world.
Financial literacy.
Sure, just the very basic,
Interest
simple
rates.
stuff. Sure.
Taxes.
Taxes.
Yep.
Okay, why? I mean, why living in Tennessee is better than living in South Carolina? Why did Nikki Haley not sign the gas tax? Remember when we had the gas and Nikki Haley refused to sign it? What did she say? When we lower our income tax, I'll sign the tax hike on gas. We have the highest income tax of any of our local states.
Tennessee don't have property tax.
Yeah, and they have zero income tax.
They do have property tax.
But they have
Zero
property tax, but
income
no
tax.
tax.
For state.
Alaska has no property
So
tax.
you could move to Tennessee and get a 6% pay raise right off the top.
Ryan Morris knows about that.
You think about that. Oh yeah, Alaska pays them to live there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and if I didn't tune, I think I'd enjoy being a financial coach.
Okay.
Just like a health coach.
I want to
Just
hear
a
you
financial
answer
coach.
that.
Well, so I went to school for tax accounting.
Yeah.
Ah, it's a CPA. Similar.
I can't say what I do.
No, I'm saying so.
I don't talk about taxes.
Nah.
That's not up for discussion. I call myself I'm a tax advisor for myself.
You'd be good in PR. I don't talk about that.
Yeah.
That would be good for you.
We call it tax planning as the IRS specific terminology
Sure.
for that. But
What about you, Grant?
there are
I didn't go to school.
No, I'm saying, what would you be if you? Everybody answered around, except for me. I'm not going to answer.
If I didn't do what I do now, which I do body work at the B&O Performance Center, honestly, I would probably work at the post office or FedEx
UPS pays more.
or UPS.
UPS.
One of those three.
UPS
I would be
drivers
in
pay
one of
good.
You
those.
do good. Hard on your knees.
Honestly, that's.
But good job.
Yeah.
I think that's where I would be.
I don't think the Amazon does as good.
UPS.
They start to
you
look
don't
at
wanna-
UPS
you
is
don't wanna go to
so
Amazon.
so FedEx routes are privately owned.
Yes.
Like someone else would own that route. FedEx doesn't actually own it, so you work
correct.
for
Same
whoever
as
owns that
Pepsi.
route.
You have to have your own truck too.
Yeah, you have to provide the truck and everything, but UPS, I believe, is all company.
It's all union.
All company
Yes.
owned. Yeah, union. So if you're gonna work for them, just gotta throw some boxes around for UPS.
Yeah.
That's what some of them guys we know do up in Bowling Springs area.
Oh,
God dang, got all the rat rods and stuff.
Yep.
Killing it.
Um,
Especially right now, COVID. Everyone's freaking getting everything shipped.
I'd be a baker.
A baker.
I'd own a specialty cake shop.
Ben Howard, the bakery.
I would do
nice.
that.
Stunner cakes.
Roll racing only.
Picking on my
The rolls.
glass. Picking on my glass transmission.
Yeah.
My front wheel
Roll
drive.
racing only.
But yeah, I would say that's what I would do.
Yeah.
FedEx or UPS or the post office.
The finance stuff, especially in race cars. So, and this guy actually, I don't get on Facebook. I don't argue with people at all. But this guy, I posted this picture of the Volvo earlier today, and this guy tried to argue with me. And of course, I just don't respond. I just drop it at that. But he's talking about how it's a bad financial investment to build a Volvo. And I was like, it's a bad financial investment to build any car.
Any car. Yes.
Any car, regardless of Volvo.
Yeah, it don't matter what you're doing.
It does, it's any car. But like I said earlier, you have to weigh the pros and cons. Like if you weren't spending money on the car, what does the car keep you from spending money on, right? You would just spend it on something else. But if you're learning from it, like VA Muscle is giving you much more education and outlook into all types of other things. But you spent money on it, right? You spend more money with HP tuners a year than some people spend on power bills and everything else a year.
Oh yeah.
But
$10,000 every year.
But it gives you the opportunity to learn more. Like I said earlier, I value my car as a college class. And everything I tell my customers is not just some random fact or something I pulled off the internet. It's something that, like, if I tell you a stock LS will hold 300 and you do it like this, it'll hold 300 if you do it like that. If you don't, I can also tell you it'll blow up. And that's because I've done it.
Been there.
And I know exactly what it takes to do both. And that's just a small portion of what I'm talking about from an education standpoint. But anybody with their car, it's the same way. If you look at what you do and you think logically before you make the investment that you're about to make into building it, because it's all expensive, then you'll get more outcome from that. So if you just throw money at a car, you see cars at the track that people just throw money at, but don't look at data, don't do anything else, don't learn from it, then they really don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Right? You have the nicest car there.
Sure.
I won't say it won't be as fast,
Well,
because I'll get in trouble, but it won't be quite the same.
And I with a lot of my customers, if you have a guy and he's going to the track and he wants his car to run faster, and I'll tell him right off the bat, the first thing you need to do to make your car run better is to run it. The more you run it, let's run it. Let's run the crap out. Let's get 20 or 30 passes in it. Before we spend anything, first of all, you need to pay off your credit card bill already. And let's make 20 or 30 passes before we spend a penny on it. Let's see where we're at. Because normally running a car, it's going to pick up.
Yeah.
That's a fact. I'll tell you a good example. I don't know if he's still on here, Darren Turner. That's a good example.
Yeah, she's a Honda guy. She
Oh, yeah.
they know each other.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Darren Turner.
Darren Turner.
They're talking to you.
With the polished
Oh, I
motor.
thought you were talking about.
No,
Oh, I know
the
that.
Honda guy.
You pointed that out. I've known Darren since
She polished the motor back in the
That's
day.
Hector.
Yeah.
97.
What did the truck run the first time out on 10 pounds?
I have no
He
idea.
won't tell me.
720s?
730s.
730s?
Okay.
Close.
You know?
They said I can't guess
So-
times, but
So what'd we
be
do?
surprised.
Did we turn the boost up?
No.
No. What'd we fix?
And you didn't go.
What'd we fix?
You didn't go change the whole setup either.
The
over
60
and over
foot.
again.
That's all we cared about was the 60 foot.
Tire pressure barring.
Yeah. So what did he end up running? What's the last time he ran on 10 pounds?
I don't know.
Ran 630s
Second. Full second.
on 10 pounds. We haven't touched the boost yet.
It
He
stopped
finally
pushing him.
started turning the
Yeah.
boost up because you know what? It is, and it's not the computer. It was nothing to do with the computer. It's 100% Darren's hard work at the shop, and
That
he
dude-
fixed the 60 foot.
Yeah.
Once the 60 foot came around, it ran fast on the same amount of boost. haven't put any pressure on the motor. If you want your car to run, you've got to run it. The more passes you can get on it, the better off you are. Don't. Some of my customers get just a little bit frustrated or impatient. Let's not spend a bunch of money that we don't need to.
Yeah.
Let's work with what we got first. Because at the end of the day, you still gotta pay the bills. You can still make a house payment. You still gotta fund your 401k.
Yeah.
And you still gotta put your money in your IRA. I have one shop that I help in North Carolina. He gets tired because every time we talk, you know what's the first thing I ask him? You funded your IRA this year? Yeah.
Tell people what the cap on it is. Was it $5,500 a year?
Unless you're over 55.
Unless you're over 55,
Then it's $7,000.
$7,000.
Yeah, you get a $1,500 bonus.
14 for married.
Yes.
So I told you about taxes.
And same way on 401k.
I've
I think 401k is $20,000 a year unless you're over 55, and I think it's $26,000 a year.
Bobby called me out. He said a Volvo sounds like a tax write-off.
So this sounds like that.
We don't talk about taxes.
Yeah.
It's going to come with a financial, a base financial.
Well,
this guy's about to make a YouTube channel. Hey, those cameras are for rent. Financial
Yeah, we're doing it.
of mine,
We're
so
doing it.
you know.
We're doing it. We're starting an LLC, and we're funnel all through that.
I need to learn how to be a tenant if someone, or a renter, a slumlord if somebody will teach me.
And
Dude, I will
earlier,
sell you all the real property.
Tracy Holslaw.
yeah. And earlier, Miles Wright commented and said you tuned his brother's SS. And I'm just going to say that is the most beautiful SS I've ever seen
I'm
in
not
my
seeing
life.
The green?
Yes. The green
Beautiful.
LSA.
Bright,
Oh,
yes,
gosh.
gorgeous. And that's another good example. We done that 90% remotely.
Nice.
Yeah, when we done it, he'll send me a log. I made changes, we'll send it back to him and he'll make data logs.
Yeah.
And what's the biggest advantage of doing that? Well, there's two advantages. When it come time for dyno day, guess what?
He's ready.
We made 3 pulls and we were done because it was dialed in.
And you already
Right.
knew you weren't sitting there on the dyno for an hour to 4 hours.
Sure, because we knew everything mechanically was right.
Right.
But even more important, guess what he learned about his car?
Well,
He learned how to read the data,
HP
how to
tuners.
make logs, how to change little things, how to use his HP tuners as a scan tool
Yep.
to diagnose what's going on.
Okay.
I'm telling you, that is more valuable. That is probably the best thing about doing remote tunes for people. They learn so much, and that's invaluable. Same reason that we have them on the dyno and we have people involved, because that way they learn what's going on. They learn about
Anyone
the
that's
car.
got a car that makes big power or goes to
Any
the track
boosted
or
car,
something like
any
that.
boosted car, you have to have your own interface.
Yeah.
Have to have, and just like Darren Turner, I never went to the track with Darren Turner one time.
Yeah.
It's
But you
impressive
know what?
now.
Every time he makes a pass, guess
Yeah.
what he would do?
Logs it.
He'd log it and email it to me.
I got video of him sitting
I
out
make
there.
a change, email it back to him. He downloads the change. He goes out there and makes another pass. On a Thursday night, I'll send him 2 or 3 revisions. And guess what? Got faster and faster. Just cleaning the tune up, not turning the boost up,
Just making little adjustments.
little adjustments, and working on the 60 foot.
I try to tell people to scoot the boost curve down. Don't put more boost on it. Because all it does is make it come in quicker instead of adding more.
Right.
So you're not changing the actual tune-up necessarily.
Correct.
You're just
You're not-
bringing it in at a different time.
Right.
To improve
60
60
foot.
foot.
Yes.
Like we talked. Maurice, send me the, call me tomorrow.
My car
And
won't 60 foot.
call me tomorrow and let me know what the truck did. You said, so he called me last week. Asked me suspension stuff on his truck. Maurice Waddell.
Yeah.
I told him what to do.
Awesome guy.
I said, let's figure the front out. I told him what to do with the shocks. And then, he said it's working good.
Yeah.
But I'd be interested to know what the difference is and see if we need to start messing with the rear now.
Yeah.
That we got the front
And
on.
that's another good guy. We do it almost all remotely.
Where's
Yeah.
that? Columbia or something like
Columbia.
that? I think when he
Yeah.
called me.
Yeah.
Columbia. You got a single
Beautiful
camera
truck.
as well?
Beautiful truck.
You got Vikings on it, don't you?
Just
On
I
the rear.
haven't even got to drive it. Oh, I've got vacuum coilovers on the front and vacuums on the rear. And I haven't even got to put it on the rig yet.
Oh man. Well, it'll be there. That's Carolina Tint. He's also they tinted your windows as well.
Oh yeah. And the Caprice. Yep.
But I put nitrous kit on his
Very
car,
fast truck.
I can't tell you which one,
Yep.
but Charles tuned it after that.
Are we allowed to say what's in it?
It is no secret. I'm not.
Okay.
Anyway.
It has Nemesis.
Gary.
The original Nemesis is 408 in it.
That's the Club Octane days I thought we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, that was before Fast GM.
That was Club Octane.
I
Yeah.
shot that car 10, 12 years ago or
Yes.
something like that at iCar when they were still building out some of
Yeah.
iCar and
Yeah.
the pictures. I need to dig those up.
I still pick on Kyle Simpson for having an enforcer on the front of his car.
Yeah.
That dude walked around at car shows, man, Kyle thought he was a stud.
Yeah.
You talking about when
I
he
love
had the
Kyle.
Silver Z?
I love
Yeah.
Kyle.
Oh, that was that motor?
No.
His
Kyle
motor
had
and his truck come out of Gary.
Gary Bain.
The-
Me laughing, whatever. It is.
Sure, I don't even. Gary FRC is what I do
Yeah.
in my phone.
Gary Nemesis.
Yeah, never,
Yeah.
remember he had the red hash
Yeah.
marks,
Okay.
and he puts hash marks on everything. He put them on his truck.
He's
but he
probably
put the
got
black
him on
carbon
that.
fiber.
He's probably got him on that arm when he goes to the
Yeah.
gym.
Oh,
You
yeah.
seen that guy?
Oh yeah.
Man.
Yeah, he worked for a real nice guy. Real nice.
He did
guy.
work for Pitt. I don't know if he
He
still
works
does.
for ZF.
Zia?
He's in quality.
Yeah,
Yeah. Anyway, so when he parted his car out, that motor
Was it Texas Speed?
It is a Texas Speed.
and it runs good.
Oh, it's.
We stepped down on camshaft, put a little bit milder camshaft. It runs good.
Look at y'all turning the cam down. That's what I told you earlier.
You know,
Everybody over cam stuff.
Okay, yeah, that's a good. Yeah, we're going to talk about camshafts, especially in camshafts in 5.3, and the absolute worst thing a camshaft in a 4.8. If you're not careful, you can put a camshaft in your truck and make it so bad it won't spin the tires in wet grass. That's a fact. If you're not
Because of the
careful,
duration on it.
too much duration, it just
Yeah.
kills the bottom end.
Is
First
that-
of all, an LS doesn't have torque to begin with. Let's get that, you know what I mean? An
LTs did.
LT will walk away from an LS to 2,500 RPM.
Look at Tick's ride. That's
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
Roadwork. That's
It,
LT's
it
car.
runs
Okay.
great. An LS doesn't have
Right.
power to
Old
begin
school
with.
LT.
And then you've got a 5.3, which is what, 327 cubic inches?
Yeah.
Now, let's think about old school. Would anybody use an old school 327 now?
No.
No, we haven't used a 327 since the 60s.
You can spin the hell out of them.
But they don't make no power. You use 350s or 400. So now we're using a little bitty motor, and we put a camshaft in there that it won't
It
get out of
sounds
its
good.
own way till 4,000 RPM.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Yeah, and you wonder
But that's
why
it.
when you go to the track, your truck is slower.
What
So
about the LS9 cam?
I like a mild cam. Keep it at 0 degrees.
224, 224.
To me that's a big cam for a 5.3.
Texas Speed make it.
You know, we want something in the middle 2 teens.
Adam said anything bigger than 228 and a 5.3 is worthless.
And even a 228 needs a pretty healthy
Brian
camshaft.
said 5.3 is 325.
You know, you
Yeah,
felt
to
that
make it
in your
run.
And a 4.8's the other.
Grant, you know,
A 4.8 is like a 283.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm over here like,
So when you say it won't spin a tire in wet grass, is that
It kills
because-
the torque.
Is it because they're just going for
The
the,
bigger-
whole chop and
The
whatnot?
bigger the camshaft, the
Duration.
more power you make. Okay. Unfortunately, there's no free lunch. Where does that extra power come from? Comes from the bottom end. You know, horsepower is nothing but torque times RPM. All you're doing is moving the torque higher in the RPM, and you're making more horsepower. It kills the bottom end. You can't put a camshaft into something and gain horsepower and gain bottom end. It doesn't work.
Without bottom
It just doesn't work.
mid-range, you ain't-
It doesn't
you
work.
ain't
It
going
just
Yeah.
you can't have one or the other. So,
So
you,
for most cars, like I said earlier, you call Texas Speed, you call these places, they say, I want a big chop, right? I want everything I can get. And they're going to say, put our, I don't know, stage 3 or
Sure.
Stage 4.
LS3, stage 3
Yeah.
or whatever it's got in it. When in fact, the smallest one
it will run
might be
better
the better option.
and pull harder.
Now what if?
Unless we're spraying a lot. then we
No,
like
what
that
if I
duration.
got like a clapped out truck? I'm trying to get that sound off in. What do you do?
Honestly-
Cam sound comes
honestly-
from exhaust.
A small, like a 4.8 with the same cam as a 6 liter will sound
That
totally
totally
different.
Yeah.
The smaller the motor,
Yeah.
It typically sounds a lot heftier with a smaller cam.
The cam sound, it comes from the exhaust. 80% of your cam sound comes from the exhaust.
I just need something to go through Greer and Quick Trip with. I don't need
The louder it is, the bigger the cam sounds. You put a camshaft in a truck with stock exhaust, you won't hear the camshaft at all. You put hardly any camshaft on these straight pipe Carolina squat trucks, and they sound like a monster.
How about that white vent we did? I had a full stock exhaust on it with
Yeah.
LS3 Stage 3 BTR cam. Way overkill for what it was, but the guy drove it to the golf course and back.
Yeah.
And that sucker sounded nice with stock exhaust.
Really?
Yeah.
Not too
Just-
loud.
it was a nice
It wasn't like crazy that would just beat the ground. You can't start it up. Your neighbors start cussing you out. But it was a good sounding car. But the only reason I went with that big a cam was because I knew we were leaving stock exhaust, not putting headers or anything on it.
The louder the exhaust, the bigger the cam sounds.
I heard a all motor car in Maryland sounded beautiful. Red Corvette from RPM Transmissions. Man, that thing sounds good on the line. You'd never know that it had you never know it was strong, and then all of a sudden he takes off out of the hole. It's a whole different car when he's on the gas.
Tracy said math is not Grant's strong suit.
Oh, it's not.
He does my taxes though.
Yeah, that's why the IRS is after you.
Yeah.
Hey Grant, when next time you get
Next
you get an opportunity, I need you to
Yeah, I
do
got
my
you.
next taxes.
I mean, if they come after you, I'm like, that wasn't.
Thank you, I appreciate
Adam
it.
said, "What about LSA affecting cam sound?"
The tighter the LSA, the bigger the cam axe, the more bottom end power you get, the worse it drives. But the tighter the LSA, all you're doing.
Tell everybody what the +2 or +5 mean on the end of it. They get their cam card and they see 114 +2. They're like, "Oh, this is cool," but they don't really know what it means.
All right. You've got the +2 means back in the old days when you would put a camshaft in, you look at the intake center line.
Oh, yes.
You look at the middle of that cam and say the intake center line is 109 degrees. So you degree your camshaft in and it'd be 109 degrees will be your intake center line. Which means the very top of your intake lobe is at 109 degrees of crankcase rotation.
Right.
Okay? Now, but we can actually advance or retard the camshaft to move the power up and down.
To the RPM.
If you advance it, it helps the bottom end power. You retard it, it helps the top end power. Well, guess what? Instead of taking an adjustable timing gear and putting 2 degrees advance in it to help that bottom end power,
You put it in
the
TDC
manufacturer
and it's already
already done it. Why do they do that? Why do they always grind at +2? That tells you how little bottom end power an LS motor has. So they are already automatically grind advanced into the camshaft trying to help the bottom end power. Almost every cam is ground that way.
+2.
+2, yeah.
Yeah.
The lobe separation angle, when you look at a camshaft, you have 2 lobes. Your intake lobe and your exhaust lobe. I need a whiteboard, okay? And the angle between the top of each lobe, that angle between the two is your lobe separation angle.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody can see that, but you can spread that apart. And the more lobe separation angle you have, the less duration you have. That's the reason blower cars normally have a wide LSA. It gives the exhaust valve time to close before the intake valve opens.
What do you think about the Volvo's cam?
That's a big one. What's the LSA on that?
I can't say publicly.
Okay.
Larry Keys will know. If you get this box, you're not supposed to.
The
Not
tighter,
supposed to comment on
yeah,
it.
the tighter the LSA normally is, it kind of helps the bottom end power because it helps cylinder filling down low. But it does kill your vacuum zone.
That's a that can specifically for 400 horsepower worth of nitrous. So that's why that looks like it does. It's not.
I've got a Pat G cam that's probably
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not. It's literally if you call them and if you call Bullet and you say, "Hey, I just made a motor pass. This is what I cam. This is what happened." He'll just hang up the phone. He's like, "Why are you?" He almost cussed me out. He said, "Why are you even running it on motor?"
He's like, go make a hit it with 300 out the hole and call me back. I was like, yeah.
It's funny. He almost hung up the phone.
He was mad. I said, well, I had to make sure the car actually went down the track.
Yeah.
I didn't know what was going on. He said, you can make one test hit, get it right. He said, hit it with 300 out the hole. He said, and then bump it up.
That is a test hit. Yeah.
Yeah. He said, 200 minimum. Don't even like run it without nitrous. It's literally built to run with nitrous. So that's why it looks like that. But it's a crazy looking.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it works or not, still to be determined. We'll see. I've only had it in there for one low oil pressure pass. Oil pressure coming soon. It was the valley cover.
It's loaded.
The valley cover.
It was the valley cover.
The things that we hear.
Nah, it was the valley cover. I thought it was a cam bearings, and it was the actual. So Gen 4 DOD motors.
Yes, you gotta have a good cover.
The valley. If you don't put like block offs
Yes.
in those DOD ports.
Yes, it will leak.
You have got to have a valley
Yes.
cover. So we took the Volvo to the track, and it had regular 40, 50 pounds, whatever, oil pressure. We left the line. It still had fine oil pressure. It was not like dropping down. We got baffles in the pan, but as soon as we hit 7,200 RPM, it was like I had 20 pounds.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. It was the dang golfers walking.
I
in
knew
here.
it was going to happen.
Gophers.
This guy's messing with something with a scooter.
Yeah.
I already know it.
But so we're at an hour and 40 minutes. That's a long time. I appreciate everybody hanging in here.
Man, we had a lot of activity.
I have to tell you guys,
We
if
did.
you stayed in
A lot
for
of
this whole
31
thing,
people still watching.
hey,
Oh,
if
wow.
y'all stayed in for
Get the
this,
old pen ready.
if y'all stayed
hold
in,
You want one? Oh, Derek wants one.
if y'all stayed in
Derek does
this,
want
y'all got a treat
Pour Derek one.
right now.
Hang on tight.
All right, there we
So,
go.
as always, we're getting people to sign the table. I posted a thing earlier. We got all these kind of people. As big as you want. We'll move the wings.
I'll go ahead and let you just scribble over.
Oh, we
my
should have got a
name.
V8 muscle sticker.
I'll bring you one.
We should have got a V8
Yeah.
muscle sticker for the table.
The stickers are in high demand.
And we're getting koozies.
Oh yeah.
ProNitrous V8 muscle koozies. Be available soon.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
We're gonna split them, so it'll be V8 on one side. This is Hall's
You know,
jump
we're gonna
out,
have a
by the
koozie
way.
pack. We're gonna have a koozie pack when it's done. There might be a purple one that comes along the lines.
I like the
A
koozie
juice
better
one.
than the sticker.
I like it.
There might be
I
a
agree.
juice one come along.
They're more usable than a sticker.
Oh, brought a
They're
nice
honestly
koozie
cheaper.
today.
They're cheaper than a sticker. You know,
And they're usable.
Brought a
Go on.
koozie today that you'll like.
Oh, yeah, you got an IMSA koozie.
Oh wow.
That's from work.
what is that? BMW stuff?
No, IMSA, the racing series.
I had to get
International Motorsports
Crown?
Association.
No. Ben? Crown? No. You gonna pass on it?
I'm gonna pass on it tonight.
Derek?
I can't be on camera.
Derek, we
Tight.
got you one forward.
I can't be on camera tight, but Derek will take that
Yeah.
right now. Like he's ready for it.
We
Go
got you one
ahead.
forward. Come on over
Hey,
here.
wait till y'all see his,
Now you
wait till y'all
gotta
see
do
his
it.
little curly hair out
Look
with
at
his
that.
earrings.
Look at that jewelry he's sporting.
Yeah.
I know
Man,
he's got some.
he's shining from across the room.
Tell me you're a pro golfer without telling me
Why
you're
are
a
you
pro
dropping
golfer.
that in that?
To make it cold.
Give us a big
In the
signature
ice.
wherever.
All right,
I know he's got a professional
Yeah.
signature.
No, I'm CWB.
Too small.
He's like, go ahead.
Oh man, I can't believe we got to do it.
Yeah. Right there.
This guy over here is just
We have to
ready.
because
Yeah, I'm trying to get
because
it colder.
we have to do it because South Carolina 5th Gen Camaro Club
Buddy,
bought it for us.
unbelievable club. I
And
can't go on and on.
She came here and delivered it in a case of Miller today. How
Yeah.
about that? Just for this.
You know
She's
what?
not even
I
from
don't
here.
even know you,
She's
and I
from New
gotta give
Jersey.
you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
She is a Jersey
She
girl.
works in
Very
Greenville.
cool.
So here. So South Carolina 5th Gen.
Yep.
I ain't got no drink, but ding, ding,
Right.
I'll just
ding.
Her club and Upstate GM Truck Club are the two biggest clubs in the Upstate. They do a lot of great things.
GM Truck Club does a lot. Dyno days and track days.
Yep.
I'm just jealous of the GM trucks. I almost bought one, and I should have when they were cheaper. Now, to get a truck, you gotta be Derek out here. You gotta be swinging money to get a truck like Derek.
Oh yeah.
He'll sell you a truck.
I think I messaged you about that truck you got.
The Dodge?
Yeah, I was like, where'd you get that
You
thing?
can't buy a Dodge right now.
No.
They're
Can't
That
buy my
thing's
Dodge.
so clean. I know it's got a little tune on it.
No, it's stock.
It's a
Well,
diesel,
a little
right?
one. Yeah, diesel.
It's a diesel.
Yeah, a little
5.9.
edge, easy.
I didn't realize it was a diesel.
Yeah, you can't buy a 5.9 right now.
Did
You gotta
you sell
take
the
out a
box?
second mortgage.
Sold the box to buy
Sold
the
the box.
Caprice.
Okay.
Sold my Hayabusa actually when I bought the
Box.
Caprice.
What box?
He had
Oh,
an
we never
XP.
even touched on the motorcycles.
Oh, yeah.
XP.
Yeah. I love my motorcycles.
How, but you see Chris Moore got a 2022.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Barron
you know-
got one too. Yeah, Barron
Yeah,
actually
James
took
Barron
delivery of the
bought
first
one.
one.
Wow.
Shot.
Yeah, last week I was filming Barons and all my batteries died. Hey, party foul. Party foul.
2022 Hayabusa.
Yeah.
I saw it at the track, and I asked Chris, because I gave him some koozies, it looks really big, but he said it's actually smaller than the old ones.
It's small. It's
The
much
exhaust,
smaller.
I don't know if the exhaust is. The exhaust is pretty
Yeah.
big on the new ones. I know
And I
they're,
know-
they're going to take them off and put Brock's exhaust.
Yeah, I had an 08 Hayabusa. I probably kept it 10 years. And it was probably the best all-around motorcycle I ever had.
And I know I've heard you
Great
say
gas mileage.
the Hayabusa is the greatest.
It is
motorcycle
great.
ever
Yeah,
built.
it was like riding a giant couch, literally. I could ride it 300-400 miles in a day, no problem. Got 45 miles to the gallon.
Plenty of power.
Comfortable, Plenty
Oh,
of power. You can ride around
You
all
do
day
wheelies?
at 2,500, 3,000. Yeah, you couldn't. I could even with my size, I couldn't keep the tire on the ground in first gear. I mean, it was
How fast do
absolutely.
they go in first gear? I don't ride bikes on the street.
Nice.
Well,
60
man, they
miles an hour.
probably run. Yeah, maybe faster.
Maybe
Probably faster
faster.
than 60.
Yeah, they're fast.
I thought they would
They're
go
geared.
about 60, 65 in first.
They're geared like a car.
I rode
like a car.
one. They what was it?
Chris, well,
09. I rode one for a couple weeks here and there. I never had a license or anything. I just
probably
got
run
out the
70,
road.
75 in first gear.
Yes.
That's fast.
That's moving.
That's
You
fast.
remember my
front
cousin
tire
Stevens
hanging in
on
the air.
one. I used to ride that bike around.
On a
That
motorcycle
bike
on
was
the
strong.
street.
All right, nobody's got any questions right out there in internet land?
Any last words while we get the
What else do you tune
signature on the table?
besides? What else do you tune? That's
What else do I do? Okay.
Yeah, I want to know what other kind of cars you
All
tune.
right.
Because you don't touch just 8-cylinder
Small
motors.
engine.
Gasoline
This
8-cylinder.
is my box,
You don't have a
and my box is very small.
You don't go
No,
outside
If
your
it
box.
ain't inside my box, I don't do it.
I got a feeling you
Here's
touch
what I-
boats,
I
and I got a
tune-
feeling you touch diesel.
No.
I tune GM gas stock PCMs. Literally, that's it.
That's it.
That's
So
literally
Haltech.
it.
So Haltech and
Yeah,
hey,
I don't do Big Stuff 3 anymore. I don't do XFI. I don't do Holly.
You ever seen the Haltech and AM? They literally
Yeah.
look like a GM
Yeah.
ECU.
That's literally all I do. Now I will do Dodge Demons, normally for friends of mine. And when it comes to a Dodge, if I had to buy any car out there, if I had to go out and buy a brand new car today, it'd be a Dodge Demon.
You better buy a set of lift.
Why specifically the Demon?
There is nothing that makes more power for the money than a new Dodge Hellcat Red Eye or a Super Stock.
Tracy
They're
said,
so cheap, and the power they make. We made 900 horsepower to the tire all day long, very easily.
yeah,
I'm doing a video with a super stock soon.
Very easy.
Tracy said, when are we going to put the Caprice on a Holly?
That hasn't loaded
He
yet.
didn't say that.
Not gonna
I'm
happen.
about to say I don't see that here.
As soon as we have throttle body issues, when that
Yeah,
throttle
it's got a
body,
drive-by cable.
when that drive-by
Yeah.
wire throttle body gives us issues, we're gonna put a Holly on. Until then, there's no need because fuel is fuel.
But that shouldn't have a problem until 30 pounds, 28 pounds,
Yeah,
25.
it's hit or miss. Yeah.
Somewhere
So
there.
far, knock on wood, no issues.
You hear some people talk about it giving problems earlier. But
Yeah.
then people buy the Terminator setups. A lot of people buy those and buy the drive-by wire.
Sure, and it's not that the fact that the drive-by wire is bad or good. The problem is GM has so many fail-safes that anything it doesn't like, it shuts it down.
You have to
Because
build those in a Holly.
it cannot be a runaway. We can't have a runaway car. That's the reason, they do that.
And Danielle said, thank you, ProNitrous and V8Muscle.net. Hashtag SC Camaro, hashtag SC 5th Gen. No, thank you. Seriously.
Awesome. Yeah,
She was up here with
Yeah,
Mark the other day.
seriously,
Oh,
thank you
Mark
for bringing
put
this.
his intake on.
yeah,
Had a great
awesome.
time and
Her and her
Yesterday.
husband are great people.
He sold a bit.
Really?
Yeah.
I think he got him a truck.
I'm not sure,
Yeah.
but he sold a bit. Tell Tracy he has to learn data log before he starts thinking about Holly. Chris Miller said that.
Yeah.
True
Oh, yeah.
story.
Yeah.
Tracy don't have the binder. Look, the book we were talking about earlier, probably 2 years ago, Charles gave Tracy and I both a book.
And Mark.
And Mark definitely
Bobby
doesn't use
Admire.
it.
Yeah.
Bobby's car hasn't been running long enough to use it. But you're supposed to keep notes in the book. So my book is in the car, which is outside the shop. But
I can't stress this enough.
I don't think Tracy uses it.
Every pass gets written down in the book. Every pass, no matter what.
Yeah, I document everything.
Everything. If you don't, you have nothing to reference by.
But I use mine in Excel as well. So then I can filter by, hey, I'm at this track, with this DA, at this time of day, at this track temperature. What do I need to do? I can put it in there, and I'm always nice and slower than everybody else. So
Well,
it works good for me.
that's consistently slow.
Yeah. It's not about, what is it? What they say, it's not about accuracy, it's about precision or something like that. It's about how many times you can replicate the same thing.
Sure. The same slow pass.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
Like, if you can do the same slow pass, that's why I had FBI converter. I go the same slow pass every time, over and over again.
Anything else we need to talk about before we wrap it up?
No, I think we're good. Tracy said he's terrible with the book. He's not going to lie. You don't have to tell us. We already know that. Adam Green said Holly won't make Tracy faster.
Wow.
It actually won't.
Nah, well, we're not allowed to talk about fast and slow.
I'm slow.
So Adam, and this might be, if y'all know a way to fix this, Adam, if you know a way to fix this, the only thing I dislike about a Terminator on data logs is if you data log with an SD card, with a Dominator, you can set it up to data log however you want, right? Like trans brake off and wide open throttle at 90% of data log, right? So the Terminator, you can only set up the data log through the screen, which means it's going to be on the SD card. So you can, like mine is set up to anytime it's over 90% it data logs. The problem is when it saves those to the SD card, it's always some random freaking time and day. It's never the correct time and day. So when I fix it by going in there and just deleting them all before every pass, which is fine because you save them on your computer before you do that. But like, we had someone in here the other day and we went to pull up the data logs and I had set up that to auto data log on it, and it just keeps like 500 and it'll just override them as they go. But at that point, like, how do you know which one you're looking at? You don't know which one. So if you know how to make it do like the correct time and day on the Terminator X data logging through the SD card, that would really help me out.
The one advantage that we have, especially we're going to go back to how lucky we are in the upstate. The one advantage that we have in the upstate when it comes to a Holly is we've got 4 or 5 Holly gurus.
Very smart guys.
Incredible.
One of them basically works at Holly.
Yeah, I mean, between you got Will Harbin, Chris Becker, Devin Vanderhoof, Josh Davis. I mean, all those guys are just unbelievable.
Don't call them.
Yeah, it's unbelievable the Holly resources we have in the upstate, and that's one reason I don't do Holly.
Travis's car is flying.
We
That
should
freaking Fox
really
body?
feel fortunate.
The
on
Celine
that.
car?
Yeah,
Oh, Travis Smith.
yeah.
Boy.
Dude, that car is flying and it is beautiful.
Oh,
I mean, gorgeous.
it's nice.
One day I'll get there. One day.
Excuse me, last question. Maurice said, what makes E85 give you such huge gains? It's not the fuel, it's the timing that you're allowed to add to it.
Two different things.
Fuel.
Let's back
First
up.
off, make sure that's E85.
Well, didn't you have
Well,
timing?
I don't like E85. I don't like E85 not because of the fuel. I don't like E85 because it's government subsidy fuel and it's based for corn farmers that can't sell their corn, so the government subsidizes it. It sells it through the fuel so that you and I pay for their corn farming. That's why I don't like it, long story short. But the other reason I don't like it is because it's a crappy freaking fuel and it's just junk. And turbo cars swallow it, so they don't care.
Yeah.
But nitrous cars with a 14 jet don't. So
E85 makes, there's 2 different reasons E85 makes more power. First of all, E85 is 9.8 to 1 air fuel ratio instead of 14.7. When you take E85 has less BTUs in it for the same amount of volume that gasoline does.
yeah.
So E85 has less BTUs, but guess what? You use 30% more. And because you use 30% more, you actually consume more BTUs than you would with gasoline. E85 normally gives you about a 3% bump in power with no other changes. That's simple chemistry. You actually burn so much of it, you're consuming about 3% more BTUs,
Right.
British thermal units. And then on top of that, if the motor likes it, you can put timing.
2, 5.
Yeah, it all depends, and now on that curve, we talked about that curve. You put E85 in a car, don't expect miracles. You know what I mean? It's
Right,
not.
yeah.
It's you're going to pick up power 3%. You make 400 horsepower, you're going to pick up 12 horsepower. That's good. But on a car that that could use some more timing, like a blower car, then you pick up even more timing because of more power because of timing. But it's strictly about chemistry. Strictly about British thermal units.
When my car was on the 85, I put half a degree of timing in for the last 1 second of the track and picked up 2 mile an hour.
Yeah.
That's loud. But I put another half a degree in for the front part of the track and melted both heads. So there's that.
Mm-hmm.
The Me 85 problems.
I'm a big E85 fan. Huge E85 fan.
Really, the only reason I don't like it is because of government subsidized stuff, and of course I don't really care for the government. But other than that, it is what it
Keith
is.
said his Shelby's loving the E85.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, I love, and here's what we talk about. When we talk about 93, I call 93 junk fuel. It's junk. You're you're getting it from a hole in the ground. How good could it be? There's no quality control.
Yeah.
I mean, some dude, in a big tanker dumps it in there, sits in there who knows how long.
Well,
We don't even know what's in there, and then you pump it out to your car.
It's crap corn they can't sell in the marketplace anyway. to
So,
start with.
so when we talk about 93 is junk. E85 quality control is not that much better, but at least we're starting out with 105 octane
Yeah.
or roundabout there.
For
I
$2
think.
a gallon.
Right, instead of 93. So the window is really big, and that's probably the biggest advantage on E85. You got a big insurance policy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
don't think the tanker trucks can load E85 and then go pick up a tank of 93.
no.
I'm pretty sure they got to be separate.
Oh man,
tankers.
it makes it.
I would
But
imagine.
just like Keith is saying, NA cars, turbo cars, E85, meth, whatever. That's M1. That's their friend. Nitrous cars, M1 and E85. And I'm obviously not the smartest guy. I'm irrelevant. I don't know what I'm doing, but I've not figured out a good way to make big nitrous power on meth or E85, M1 or E85. I'm just not.
We need to work on that.
We've had, and I've had plenty of nitrous cars on the dyno with the E85 and they've been fine.
Mhm.
But that doesn't mean that doesn't mean I'm a fan of it. It's just, if they work, I know how to jet them.
Sure.
They work fine, but at the end of the day, same reason you don't like direct port with high pressure. Because if someone's on a 150 kit, right, if you're on a 150 shot on a direct port intake, right, we build direct ports all day. There's like 3 or 4 intakes behind me right now. If you're on a 150 kit, so you're on like a 24 jet or something like that on a direct port with an NX fogger, and you're on like a 13 or 14 fuel jet, that's tiny.
Yeah.
That's small. So it takes
Window.
You're saying it takes 14 thousandths
Yeah.
to make that cylinder get no fuel at all.
Yep.
At all. So typically 85 is a little dirtier, but I don't think that's the cause of it. I think for some reason it's just
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the little tiny fuel jets. It just
like on
too
Mars,
much air
Put it on
to
5 or 10 psi
to get clogged
20,
up.
24 jet.
Yeah.
It ain't great, but it's 10,000 difference.
I'm not a fan of big shots on
I
on
love
a
the
plate
big
kit on an LS.
Not on a plate kit.
No, I try to tell everybody your manifold is not designed to flow water. It's designed to flow air.
Except
It
it's
does
already.
not like a plastic intake manifold doesn't like to flow fuel.
Yeah.
It just can't. It literally has to suck it up off the floor through the runners.
So 200 shot and above,
Ooh,
you're
no.
asking for the
You're asking
backfire.
for trouble.
That's why they backfire. We talked about that.
Hey, that was funny.
If you backfire through the intake on a plate kit on a fast 102, and you come out thinking it's lean, you're wrong. It's not lean. It's
that
fuel. It's
cannot
fuel
get
sitting in the
sucked.
intake. It'll actually backfire. You make a
It'll
pass.
backfire on the next time you fire it
It'll
up.
backfire the next time. You make a pass on a 250 kit on a plate
Yep.
with a truck intake
Oh, yeah.
or with a fast intake or something like
That's
that.
because it's not going
and
through
you say,
fast
oh
enough.
man, that was a good pass, and you cut it off, and you look at the end of it, and you're like, oh, it was real like lean up at the end. That's because none of the fuel got sucked up. And then you fire it up on the next pass, and you go to make another, and it blows the goddamn throttle body slam off of it, and you're like,
Or a
what in the
hole in the
world
back
just
of
happened?
it.
That's what just
The
happened.
fuel goes into the bottom of the manifold and
Nitrous isn't
stays
flammable.
there.
It
It
ain't.
can't get. It just has so much weight.
Yeah.
It can't get sucked up into the rudder.
Yeah, it's not the nitrous that
It's
burns.
not. It's the issue is the fuel.
It's the fuel. As soon as that cylinder opens, and you got spark in there, and it lets it see it with that fuel in the intake, it's done.
So the fuel's not running out fast enough, basically.
No, it's sitting
No.
in the bottom of the intake.
I mean, yeah, but it's not going
Gravity.
It can't pull it
Remember,
up.
it's
into
at the
runners.
bottom.
Yeah.
The runner's face down. This intake valve is over here.
Right
The
down.
runner goes all the way here. Okay, it stops.
Yeah.
Then you got a big plenum up here. The fuel goes in. It has to fight gravity, and the air just has to pull it up and get it into that runner, and it can't physically. It's too heavy.
Yeah.
There's too much fuel, and it lays in the bottom.
Okay.
So
Please stop at 150 on your plastic
On
intake.
stock intake.
Yeah, unless you go with direct port.
Okay.
I tell you what, we dynoed one of Eric's direct ports the other day, and it was impressive.
Yeah.
It was a 200 shot. It made 185 horsepower, and the air fuel was straight across. It was an awesome setup. It's hard to beat direct port.
Yeah. Let's see. Man, I think this is the most activity we've had. This is
yeah,
awesome.
what is it? What are we at right now?
Man, we are at a lot of comments.
Because Ben
A
is
lot
in the
of
house.
comments, Yeah.
Don't let
Ben,
don't let this guy.
a lot of comments, a lot of shares, a lot of views at the
So-
same time, continuously.
While they don't have any other questions, I do have one more. What made you? And they may already. This may have been while I was already outside. What made you actually want to do this? What made what really made V8muscle.net?
I love data.
Okay.
I love looking at data. I love seeing why things are doing, why they're doing, and looking at the data.
Yeah, 'cause
I do that at work too. Same thing. We watch data, that way you know what the machine is doing. You've got it's watching the data, man. I absolutely love it.
I live beside a coworker of yours, and I know that you guys definitely do a lot of data at work. So, plus knowing the company you work for, it's all about the data.
Yeah.
So, and this brought in back to the plastic intake deal. Tracy said, we sprayed a 250 through a plate on a stock LS3 intake for about 8,793 passes.
Sure.
He said, I should have bought a lottery ticket.
Well, I tell you what, Tracy's black car is a good example. We ran X amount with I don't know how much nitrous, a bunch.
Yeah.
Just crazy amount. We started backing the nitrous down, car got faster.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we actually took a lot of nitrous out of the car went just as fast.
Yeah.
You can actually put so much nitrous into the motor, you start displacing the air the motor would naturally make.
Okay.
You take a 400 horsepower motor and spray it with 200, you don't have 600 horsepower, you got a 370 horsepower motor
Yeah.
and 200 horsepower with the nitrous. It just doesn't add to it. It displaces the air that the motor would already run.
Yeah.
And you can see that sometimes you run so much nitrous on it, the nitrous comes out the carburetor.
Yeah.
Or comes out the air box. It literally can't even,
Ekes it out.
yeah, you see it all the time. There is a limit on what you can do. That's the reason big blocks love nitrous.
Because
Big head, big runners, big cubes. You could, 400 is the minimum you run on those.
Yeah.
You know.
It idles on 400.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I love a big block Chevrolet.
Yeah.
That's the best motor that GM ever made. Other than the fact that they weigh a ton.
And you're saying
Everything in my garage
the
is big block Chevrolet.
Okay.
Everything
Big
in
block
my garage.
Chevrolet, the greatest thing they ever built.
Big block Chevrolet and Holly carburetor.
All right.
There's going to be a big block Porsche in his future,
Yeah.
guaranteed.
Yeah.
I see it now.
Oh,
big
Renegade
block
kit.
in a Porsche?
Renegade kit. He's probably going to have
Yeah.
996 that he got for $1,500 from somewhere. big block back there, probably could do it. The car could hold it.
Sure.
And as long as he can put them with that right transaxle, he's straight.
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. An LS, you know, for 90% of the street cars, it's a much. I mean,
How
it's
many of those have you
faster.
tuned?
It's like LS.
How many of those Porsches with the LS have you tuned? Because I know you've at least touched one.
I've done a couple with it in the back. Yeah.
I saw one. I was at a half-mile shootout race.
Yeah, pretty neat.
In Heaven's Landing, and there
It's
was a
almost like a
Porsche
car. Can you
with an
see?
LS in it, and
Yeah.
I was like, I mean, I'm a Porsche fan, but
Oh,
I
yeah.
ain't gonna lie, I saw it and I was like, that's not right.
I'm gonna tell you,
I
I
had to
would,
walk
I would
by, I was
do
like,
it in
this
a
ain't right.
second, especially if I had a 02 and up wide body or new. They call it the wide body setup of the 4S or something like that. Carrera 4S. I would do it in a second.
Yeah. No, this was like a 80s model, I believe.
Oh.
I
And
get.
it had an LS in it. I was like,
I give my German, you
Yeah,
know,
you should put a K series in.
I give my German
No.
car workers hell about German cars.
no.
But I love my Porsche.
I helped a customer that had a K series. It went all across the internet.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys saw that black one. That car made 1,000 horsepower.
Yeah.
Tracy, your
Lightweight.
car would be faster with a nitrous big block and a Holly car.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
I guarantee it.
It's a
Catch it
good.
So let me ask you a question. One last question. Well, so you said you don't go to the track with most cars, or you don't have to be there to get the tuning.
I don't have time. I love track tuning. I love going to the track. There's nothing better than chipping away at a car and picking up 2, 3, 400s. But it's time.
Got it.
I
So
simply
does
don't
that
have
keep?
time.
But does that keep you from going to the track at all? Like
There's
having
pizza if you want.
so many cars that you may or may not
Over
have
there,
tuned
right
there,
here.
and you shy away from it.
Wings. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's the same as like me
I
going
sit
to
in
the
stands.
track.
I sit in the
And
stands.
if I don't have my camera,
Yeah.
or like, and many people locally don't know me for that still just yet. Like they know me from having a Honda or something like that. But if I don't have my camera, I get the either why is your car not done or where's your camera
Sure.
and the tugs. So I'm sure
Yeah,
you get it.
I get a lot of hey yous. So normally when I sit there, I'm in the stands behind the concession stand at the very top.
And nobody knows you're there. But you get to enjoy the track.
Oh,
just-
I love it. I love Greer.
Oh man,
I love Greer drag strip.
spoiled.
From a track perspective, Greer is a very nice facility.
It
Especially no
is
matter where you're at,
beautiful.
you can basically see the actual track.
Yes.
I'd love to
it
make
is
a small documentary on
We're gonna have
especially the
Pikes.
history.
Well, please set that up for me. I think that no matter what, I think that with all the things that are circling Greer right now, we've talked about them. I think that we should make a little documentary, and not just I make the documentary. That's not what I'm trying to do. I think that those of us who have called Greer home,
Yes.
that have done things there, a lot of the racers
Yeah.
that have been long time
It's
racers.
only like 500 foot that way for anybody that doesn't know.
I said something the other day. I got a lot of flame, and she told me not to say it, and not to say anybody was slow or anything like that. I called out foot breakers. I said some negative things, and I got some really negative feedback. But honestly, if I were to do that, I would have to have the foot breakers because that's essentially what Greer is, in my opinion, especially Saturdays.
Adam, he don't really prep it. So Greer's
Greer's a beautiful facility.
Greer makes
though.
money off entry fee and
On
not
Thursdays.
off of actual
Yeah.
races. I believe. I'm not trying to get in anybody's business, but if you've been to races that some people around here put on, and they spend 3 months trying to put on a race, Greer has more people than that on Thursday night.
Oh yeah.
Like I mean,
Greer on Thursday nights is huge.
Hey.
that guy outdoes it. And I was
It's-
talking with this guy about it the other day with that car. I was like, dude, you would, because we were talking about possibly taking it to Greer, even though the prep's not as good as other tracks around.
Sometimes the women are faster than the cars.
But
I hope that guy called me.
If somebody can set that up, if somebody can set that up with Greer, I will put all of my time into making one.
But
of
the fight that Greer has had to remain doing what he does,
well, that's what I want to
And
do it for.
the fact that I'm talking like y'all. People put on a race and they got flyers going everywhere for however many weeks and entry fees and lists and all this stuff. And I promise you, Greer outdoes you on a Thursday night.
Yep.
Them guys, like the guy does not do certain things, but he is freaking killing it
He doesn't even really market it either.
Do you
He just
remember
not killing it on
that
Thursday night.
line that you I don't know how it is now because I always try to get
It's frustrating.
that line to get in there back in the day was crazy. If you
So
didn't
you go
get there
to-
by a certain time, you might get one run.
Elementary school.
I just parked the Volvo on the hill and put it in neutral and stand on the brake and just sit there. And I just let off the brake and just creep back down into the track. I don't even have to hit the
If
ignition
you ain't
until
there,
I pass the
if
gate.
you ain't there before 6 o'clock,
Adam said
and
they
you're
have.
trying to race.
Adam said they have 830-ish people there at Shadyside on Outlaw Night.
Nah, Greer's got more people.
Dude,
than
Greer
on Thursday
is
night.
slam full. It is.
By
Way
far.
more than
Man,
that.
I'm
is
gonna have to
buttholes to
say there
elbows
was
in there.
1,500. There's about 1,500.
I would say,
people
I would
Dude,
say
it's-
there's
it's a couple thousand.
thousand.
I'd say a couple
except
thousand.
for the hot summer months, is
Yeah.
down to 1,000, 1,200
Yeah.
on a Thursday.
Oh,
Now,
and
I'm
then,
not sure.
and then
I'm
later
sure Mike
in
can
the
tell you the
year,
actual number.
and then later in the
I mean,
year,
if
we
it's
talking
$7
September.
and
Yeah.
But you're talking every
1,500
Thursday
people,
night.
that's
Yeah, every Thursday
$75.
night, man, it's at least
Hey,
1,000.
when
people.
it's hoodie season, oh man,
You ain't kidding. That's what I'm saying.
Woo!
On that time, I bet it's a couple thousand on certain nights. I mean,
Yeah.
they're killing it.
And
It's
with that,
buttholes
with that
elbows.
being
With
said,
one strip of PJ1.
I'm a huge Mike Greer fan.
I'm telling you,
Huge Mike
He was
Greer
at my
fan.
house the other day.
Mike, the work
Tracy said 2,500 to
involved,
3,000 on
Yes,
Thursday night.
I
mean,
agree.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, yeah.
the work involved to run a track it's up there.
I think
That's a-
that
You gotta
that is-
figure, he's got 6 people standing there
Yeah.
taking your money on an
And he
average.
and he
and
works.
sometimes more.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Lot.
more.
Yeah.
There's 2 people each
And the line's
side.
still backed up,
Yeah.
up the street.
Yeah,
There's
but
6 people taking your money.
split.
Yeah. I mean, killing it.
And he's running a grading company the whole time. He's a busy man. I mean, a
Let's buy the
busy
track
man.
from him. Let's buy the track.
I'm telling you right now, if the racers got
He was-
together,
Yeah, let's,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
let's,
yeah.
let's put a couple people
Yeah,
together.
you
Let's buy
do,
it.
you do that in a heartbeat.
Shoot.
I'm telling you right now.
I'm
if
already
you-
asking. I'm already talking about it.
Imagine
We'll talk
thinking
about
of-
this off camera.
Yeah, we gotta
I'm
set
gonna
that
text
But
you.
either way, hey, like I said, set that up and we will make something happen. And it'll be sponsored by ProNitrous, of course.
Keep
Okay.
that process every time we got to go off
Do
the
you
stage
tax
at
us?
6.
Yeah.
It does happen to rain a lot on Thursday nights.
Hey,
in the summer.
we'll present that shit to
That's a fact.
Netflix.
Yeah. Planners.
The plight of a swim track.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Let's see that signature. We're
Yeah,
2
come
hours
on
and
with
11 minutes.
But Adam, we can't wait to have you
Does it matter where?
for the 864 Outlaws race.
Now you know I go by CW.
CW?
On all my official
We need
documents.
V8 muscle
Really?
as well, though. You gotta.
I'll get a sticker. I'll get a sticker.
I know another person that went by CW. Wow.
What's CW stand
I
for?
told you he was gonna have a professional signature.
Charles Williams.
Ah,
So,
And-
so your
and-
full name is Charles William
Well,
Barber.
you got a
here's,
new name for me.
here's what happened. This is why I go by CW. When I was racing heads up,
You don't
at
need that.
every event, guess what you had to do at every event?
Sign your initials.
Fill out the stupid tech form. Now you go
I'll
to.
put JB on all of them now.
Well, you know what? I got tired of writing out
We're not getting into that.
Charles W. or Charles Williams, so I just forwarded it to CW because it saved me
I'm
a
my biggest
little bit
fan.
of a step.
And I'm sure that everybody started going, oh, CW's here.
I was at Union and I wasn't even there.
You were on vacation.
No, we.
We're not getting into
Now
that.
this is past my bedtime. Now, we all know that, right?
Yeah. So
I had to.
My old lady's gonna be so mad when I get home.
go with
yeah.
mouthwash. If I remember Tracy, probably. What is he talking about? What is Mark talking about? Mark's drunk.
Mark's kind of dumb.
So
I didn't say that on live.
I call him Marky Mark in the fucking.
Now, I'll tell you a
I
little
love
story
Mark,
about
man. He's
Mark. Now, me and Bobby and Mark and Tracy all went to
Fayetteville.
Fayetteville.
Oh, I know
So the
this
whole
story.
time we're all giving Mark hell, being just giving him heck. You
yeah.
know, me,
Hey,
Bobby, and Tracy.
And Bobby gives Mark the most.
And I guess Mark didn't really know us that well. Didn't know if we were joking. You know, had a couple of Navy jokes. You know what? You know where I'm going. You know, and he.
Oh, boy.
So it's time. You know, to we get back to the motel. We're exhausted. Me and Bobby tired. We go to bed. 'Cause
Yeah.
We're exhausted. Mark is out there on the couch, fully clothed, with all the lights on.
yeah,
Sitting there wondering if it's safe to close his eyes.
yeah.
So
not.
Because
yeah.
he was sleeping in a room with y'all.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know how
Tracy,
much
we
sleep
wrapping
he
it
got.
up.
All right.
Tracy
I'm gonna
said,
go.
let that old man go to bed.
I'm gonna go
Yeah,
one
I
more
gotta go to
thing. First time I actually hung out with Tracy, me and Eric went to and
Just
met
Eric or
Tracy.
Owen?
At
No,
Owen.
no.
We met him, or me and Eric met Tracy up in Charlotte, and we were
Sure.
going to go to the half-mile race they had up there.
Uh-huh.
When Underground set one of their
Sure.
records. And first time I ever really met Tracy, I had met him before, but we stayed with him. And, you know, Eric's like, I got to have a whole bed of myself. And me and Tracy's like, all right, we're going to share this
Oh, you
bed.
sure, Tracy?
Man, I was on the edge of this
Tracy.
bed.
That goes back to what we were talking about earlier.
Like,
his options open.
this is the very edge of the bed. I'm
Yeah.
right here, ready
Yeah.
to fall off. Just I ain't going nowhere.
Tracy's right beside him.
Tracy's in the middle.
Yeah. I mean, I was on the edge of the bed. I'm not touching him. You ain't gonna touch me. That's it.
Yeah, I don't.
Right. Great time.
Yes, sir.
Well, thank you very much for coming.
Yep.
We got 32 people
Yeah.
hung in for 2.5
Good.
hours almost.
We appreciate it.
Thank you
man.
very much.
32 champs.
Yes.
Hopefully, we learned a little something.
I learned a lot.
I feel
learned about
dumb.
a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I feel really dumb
I
being
felt pretty
around
dumb
you.
for a portion of it, but thank you very, very much. I'm gonna
Y'all gonna close out with what's going on this week?
we got grill list races
Yep,
tomorrow
real
night.
list race
Oh, yeah.
tomorrow. You got a race at I think Elk Creek this weekend. Let me go to Corey Stamper's page. Let's see. You got a little bit going on this page. July 17th, y'all don't forget, tune in.
I had to click
Come in for 864 Outlaws at
It was
Greer.
gonna stop.
Shady Side's coming in too. It's gonna be a good time.
All
I
right.
had to
That's
ride
it.
easy behind Charles when he first came in here. I thought he was the wrong person. I was like, man, I gotta.
No. All right, we got someone good next as well. I greatly appreciate everybody hanging in tonight. I'm sorry for no microphone. I'm sorry for the stuff the other week that went on with the Facebook update.
Mark
But
Zuckerberg.
thank you very much for hanging in tonight.
Who's next week?
And we can't say who's next week. We will have a post about it. But it's gonna be a fun one.
Just know it's gonna be a great time.
Thank you very much. See y'all.